Why would magic make this plant grow there?
Ley lines are rifts through which the primal energies of the world come through. And so if that plant is growing right on a ley line, it might just be fed water. Old magic is raw and unrefined. Us modern wizards would call these things the fundamentals. Even Ferris of old, he was the first one to really understand the fundamentals. He created modern wizardry as we know it. Yeah. The upper left corner image, that symbol sits at the very apex of the gateway back in Aknara.
Selma Tailwind told us that this symbol means 4 elements and the staff that holds the world. Did you all see my message about the map at the end of the last episode?
Oh.
Yeah, what an idiot idea.
No, I think there's something...
Shit idea.
Really?
No, I didn't read it at all.
I'm saying that the map, right, that we saw could have been what these islands look like before the sea rose.
You know what? Let me have a little peek at that again, because maybe
even if I believe that, right, I don't think the second part of the idea of going down there to try and find something is
why not
is worth it.
What else could be the intended solution?
A lot of these solutions aren't for now. I think they're for the future. For example, I don't think right now is the best time for us to use the water spell to get you a little bit down there when we can wait a few levels and come back and find out what the fuck it really was.
Yeah, but it depends what it is. Like, it could be a tunnel, it could be a portal, it could be a chest. I mean, it could literally be anything. I mean, it could be enough to just go down there and get to it and come back right away.
But how are you even ever going to know where the circle is? How would we ever know?
We'd have to get some like old maps and shit and try triangulate it.
I think maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the things I think we might be talking about here is that a plan like this has like you could put in a lot of effort and then get nowhere with it, and that's not particularly fun gameplay, right?
Exactly, opportunity cost. And in the future, we could probably do it a lot easier.
Yeah, well, and I'm not saying
like going out the rest of the world.
Okay,
yeah.
2 points. There's fun in the journey, and case in point, the last 2 episodes have both been great adventures, and essentially we've come away with nothing.
Yeah, we're due for a bad adventure where we get nothing.
That's just every quest ever that we follow, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So maybe there's something we're missing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No,
well,
right.
we could bring this to the Armator, right? Because that was one thing that we talked about last episode, where like maybe she knows something. And she did
but if
say,
there's going to be an old map of this place, it's going to be on this place, right?
This is probably the old map. This is probably the map that you're going to get.
Yeah, but maybe we can get a modern map, and like I don't know. Yeah, like I'm not sure. Maybe it's not possible, but I just feel like
I think that it will be possible. But I kind of agree that I don't feel like it's worth the opportunity cost right now, because we're like back to back losses, quote unquote, of like we've kind of gotten like nothing yet. So I kind of want to get out there and see if we can find something. But I do hear what you're saying.
One more spin, there, mate. One more spin. We're gonna win this. We're gonna win this time. No, maybe
the question is, can we find like more clues about this thing? That's another question we could answer. Like, we could spend a lot of time searching here. Maybe we find nothing.
Well, I suppose
go to the other islands. They might be there too.
We're just going to the next island, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
The other route is
we're going to Zubai.
The thing is, this doesn't work if I say it out loud, but like if we just follow this quest for so long that Neil feels bad for us, it just gives us clues.
We'll get something, yeah.
That's true.
I just want to make sure that everyone's having fun. Whatever we do, as long as the party's enjoying yourselves, I'm on board. And I just
That's fine. That's fine. I guess
if you three want to do it, like I'm down to hear it out, but I do think that it would probably lead nowhere.
I think me and Moot are both coming from the same point, which is it's a little bit unsatisfying to. I feel like maybe we've missed something for both the tower and with this. So I'm just saying that maybe we should dig into it a little bit more and try and get the win. But maybe you're right, and it's better that it's actually just that we can't do this yet.
I kind of feel like it's like one of those like MMOs where you're walking up and you find the big dungeon, but it's like blocked off with something that you're going to unlock later. That's kind of where I feel like we're at right now with this kind of stuff. We're getting like puzzles. But we're not like getting all of the pieces to like put them together. Yeah, you need double jump.
Right. Some of this campaign is just a big puzzle, and it,
okay. All right.
The way I was thinking about it was that like we are going about this, or when Neil was telling us about like, here's the ways you could approach this, there was a fast way, right, where we go to the town or the city or whatever, and we fucking raid the libraries. We are the building blocks that we're getting are so unsatisfying because they're building towards something truly fucking insane. And so like the perseverance of defeat after defeat after defeat, or well, not necessarily defeat, but like we're just getting the edge of like something. We're finding the edge of something great, and just the grain of truth, a grain of knowledge, and it's all building towards something that is truly Earth world shaping or whatever, right?
Yeah. Okay, you've convinced me with that. That sounds like Neil.
Ready.
So that's how I'm coping.
That's
my way
how I was imagining
campaign.
it a little bit. Yeah, we're just getting like a bunch of like little things that are like eventually some of it will come to fruition and we'll be able to go explore it and figure it out. Some of it might be, as you're saying, of we need to just continue exploring it, and by the time we figure out a bunch of other shit, we just may never come back. So
the vast majority of each of these islands will contain some kind of clue, will contain some piece of the whole. So I think we, I think it's a good time to consider. Where were we going next? Sorry,
Zubai.
We're gonna go to Zubai, but I do want to say, as we were talking about before, at Kapan, there's a wizard tower, and that ocean, that lake, looks awfully like what we were given, right?
Well, let's go to Zubai and see what we find, and maybe we do carry on to Kapan. There's got to be something in that lake. Look at it. It looks beautiful.
Do we want to stop off at Aknara on the way back? Because in order to get to Zubai, right, by going island hopping, we would have to go from Summit, where we are right now, to here, to here, to here, and then like around like this. Whereas if we headed back to Aknara, we could like...
It's probably just easy to go back to Aknara and just see what's up.
Go something like this, which would be a little bit more of a direct route or whatever. I don't know exactly.
Doesn't matter.
I guess the question is, do we need to go back to Aknara? I think it'd definitely be quicker to go straight to Zubai, I reckon.
Well, it's hard to go to Zubai, right?
The Armator would have intel based on what we've discovered.
Potentially, yeah.
And like, it's not that indirect, right? If you look at the route that I've plotted here, it's like, oh, okay, we go blah, 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 blah.
You measure
blah,
that
blah,
route,
blah,
and I'll measure this route. We'll see which is... Mine's 44 miles.
I mean, mine's
56.
30 miles if you just go to this place and then follow it and then go down.
I
mean,
but
worst
we also
case,
need
you're going to
places
land
to
over
sleep.
here.
We need places to sleep. We need places to stop off. We
But
get to
isn't
hit
this
this
only
little...
like a day journey?
I don't know. That's up to Neil. What's the journey time?
Neil, is it like a 30? How many miles can we go in a day on a boat?
On the little rowboat that you've got with you rowing, you could probably do like 35, maybe 40 in a day at best. But you're gonna need landmarks and stuff. Yeah.
So, question: if we went to here, whatever this place is called, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of just like went down. Do you think this would be?
I think that's
suitable?
Your what do you call it? Your commander is going to tell you it's a bad idea. You shouldn't just go across. Well, you do have those mountains as a landmark. You want to keep an eye on a landmark. And going across the open ocean like that, if like fog rolls in or something, you could get lost and bad things could happen.
Yeah.
But that's why I was like, we could just go, pop back to Aknara, have a chat, and then we do this.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is better. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, let's do that then.
Yeah,
let's do that.
Or
I
if
like
you really
that
want,
route.
you could, do this and then come along the edge. It'll just take an extra day.
Yeah, let's do this.
It's a 2-day journey, however you're going to make it.
I like the idea of a chat with the Armator. I'm happy to be overruled on this one, though.
Let's just do a quick chat. I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. We need
probably
to pick up rations
spend
anyway.
longer talking about the chat than it would to do the chat.
True. All right, Neil, count us in.
Let's go.
Well, I think we could have already been in, technically.
We're already in, I think, yeah.
Is this it? Are we playing already?
I think we're already
playing. Because I think that was interesting, so let's go.
Okay. So
where are we?
So we are leaving Summit. We explored the place. We spent a couple days there, and it's time to move on. Now, before we move on, there have been some talk about moving the people off of Summit or bringing them, forcibly moving. There have been some a little like, are we going to move them? Are we going to punish their mayor? I just want to see if there's any resolution on that, or we're cool just leaving them as is.
I think it's a case of like anyone who wants to come with us, like we would offer to take orphans, anyone who's lost their parents.
That's good. That's a good middle ground.
Okay.
Also, the invitation is open. If the things come back, I suggest setting up a information route with so basically, so I would tell them, listen, you guys should send a person to Aknara like once a week, stop off for a night and share news. And if we don't get if we don't get that news, we know there's something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
We're opening up lines of communication, and so that they can ask for aid or they can provide aid, or just we're connecting people, right? We're Death Stranding it.
Does Jamie's camera look weird to anyone?
It might be a little weird.
It's kind of like
a little laggy.
Yeah.
On my local, you know
it's
what?
almost like you're like flickering in and out of reality a little bit.
Yeah, I see that.
I'll just try not to move too much.
If it's fine on your local recording, we're good.
Is it fine on your local recording? Okay.
Oh. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's. We'll go. I'll be flickery.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. So, Summit set up. They can come whenever they want. They should send some weekly. You say weekly or monthly messages?
Weekly.
Would it be insane to get like 2 guys to row out once a week and like stay the night and then row back?
It's a part-time job, 2 days a week. It's not insane. They can try it. If it's weekly,
I guess we would do that. We would do that.
Misses, you know. If something.
I think what I would do is I would have a chat with them and I would say like, what is the rate at which you would like to do that, and whatever they settle on, we'll agree on. Like 1, 2 weeks,
every other week. Yeah.
Every other week is perfect. Just so we have some contact. So if we don't hear from them for like 4 weeks, we're like, okay, we need to go figure out.
Perfect. That's a great idea. Yeah. All right, everybody. Nice. Well, we can pick up from Summit. Last time we were here, we got some great information. I'm going to put it back up on screen. We saw this map. One
quick last thing. One quick last thing. I'm going to tell the townspeople that like if those Ibs come back, immediately dispatch a messenger. Like try to get someone on a boat to Aknara.
Okay. Done.
All right. Sorry. Go. Island thing.
Yeah. Well, we saw the map, and I just want to recap the viewers on that. Let's go.
Yeah. So. Okay, we're on our way. Do we take any orphans with us?
No.
Okay. All right.
No free kids for Aknara.
We watch Cedric row back. His 18 strength arms.
He's doing
great.
great.
A rowing check?
Yeah.
Strength check?
Yeah, give me a strength check to make it all in one day.
Oh!
Not a problem. You go over here, you make your way to Aknara, and then you come gently along the coastline until you make it home. Excellent.
Oh, we need to make a fucking Panama Canal through Aknara. Going around the island sucks.
So inefficient. The amount of effort that it would make to go through the mountain range. It's fine. It's fine.
Save him 5 minutes off his commute, dude. That's worth it. So resupply, grab things, chats to people, news updates on Aknara.
Yeah, well, as you get to Aknara, who should you see hanging out near the coastline but the Armator? She's down there with a couple of other people having a nice little chit-chat when the 4 of you pull up in your boat. Cedric's tightly bound muscles shimmering in the sun, glistening with golden sweat drops as he pulls the oars.
The Armator almost faints when she sees him.
She keeps her composure, though. She's been doing this for thousands of years. Not really.
True, yeah.
A short period.
Where's the spoon check?
Not with a man like this, though.
Not with a man
Blessed
like
by
this.
the gods.
She does roll very poorly on her wisdom. I do think, Cedric, you might notice her eyes lingering on your tight, ripped biceps. But you know...
Everybody's eyes linger.
Everyone lingers. Ooh. I'm so sorry. I have to go for just one moment. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I'll wave to the Armator and tell her to come over.
Yeah, she hobbles over in your direction, licking your lips as she arrives.
Riven wanted to speak with you, and Zephyr too. They have important information from Summit.
Hey there, Armator Casea. How are you?
Why are you out here?
A few questions.
It's windy.
He shrugs. The wind has never bothered me. Likes to blow in my hair. I don't have many years left to enjoy it.
Nonsense.
240.
Shall we go inside?
It's quite old.
We have something to show you from our adventures to Summit.
That's right.
And I lower my voice and I say, it may be one of the keys.
She will take you up to her house. Yeah. Bringing you back inside, deep into the town. Armator time. What would you like to say to her?
I unfurl my collage and the dictated writing from the chamber that we found on Summit. And the map that we drew, and the colours. I show it to her. I unfurl it and then wait for Zephyr to talk.
As you can see from Riven's incredible rendition of what we found in the tomb on Summit, we recognize some of the symbols that are also on the wall, and we believe that the cross with the circle, we believe that is a representation of the staff of the world and the 4 elements, and it is possible, because Dinesh was the last Archmage of the Citadel, that this may be one of the keys to the secrets of the fortress.
I think, my good, my dear overseer, you have stumbled onto something quite important here. This thing. This thing is a map. And that red dot is us. Do you see the eye? The dot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He taps it. That's Ferodia. And you see that bit of green?
Of course.
That's the solemn coastline. This is a map of the the Farron Empire after it broke up. The pink belonged to one of Ferris's disciples, and the 3 greens to his other disciples. And the gold is what was lost in between. The areas of empire that are either pure ocean or no one worth mentioning held on to. This is I've seen this map. It's been drawn for me in the sand before, but never with these colors.
So the red dot is Ferodia, as in our entire land here, and we would be within the gold unclaimed territory.
We would be in the very center of the red dot, in the middle of the lake.
I see.
I think it's time to share this with you. And then she looks to...
We found this in the tomb of Dinesh, the conjurer of gold.
The symbols match some of the colours. Maybe it's clues to where certain things would be found.
What do you need to show us, Armator, please?
The Farron Empire is not like any of the current worlds or kingdoms or powers. It was a school originally. There was the man, Ferris, and he had an apprentice, a student, a pupil. His name was Ibram. She pauses, searches her mind.
I've heard that name before.
Mm-hmm. It's in the writing, right? Student of Ibram, first pupil of Ferris.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to recall. Ferris, he had many disciples. Only 4 of them survived to my knowledge. There was Ibram, the human. There was Ilium, the human. Dinesh, the human. And Celestria? She's an elf, so I don't know if that's the appropriate translation. I've heard it in the common tongue passed down through the generations, but it's not a typical elven name. She shrugs.
And these are the 4 that inherited the 4 kingdoms?
I don't think so. Those were his 4 greatest disciples that lived. It may be that they inherited these kingdoms, but you know, Riven, it's quite unlike our people to our mother's side to rule kingdoms. But as I said, it was a school, and these disciples weren't power holders. They were like professors or teachers who then taught the next generation and the generation of that. And as the school expanded its need for information, it expanded its reach, and it incorporated new places and territories. And the teachings were handed down from instructor to pupil, not in an attempt to dominate and control taxes, but in an effort to enhance the understandings of... She shrugs. I'm no wizard. I don't know anything about these things. I hear...
Perhaps they pursued knowledge for the sake of its own pursuit.
She nods. I hear in the olden days, sorcerers ruled, and wizards were few, far between, and puny. And it is Ferris who created the systems of magic that allowed what we know as contemporary wizards to blossom.
That's what Selma Tailwind said.
Is it?
Yeah.
Some part of me would have liked to speak to her.
I gaggle audibly.
Her magics were too unknown, I think, was the problem.
I understand.
Would it be that we had a way to control her or trust her? Perhaps she could have lived, but her heart was blackened by the concept of violence.
Mm-hmm.
She believed only the strong should rule.
Yes, well... I think you probably did what was right with her.
None of you have to explain yourself. Just keep moving on. We made a choice. Let's live with it.
Anywho,
all my choices haunt me.
These 4 regions that are called out, if they would each have their own central place, their own central power.
What about these symbols? Point to the 2. Keep finding them on. I'll regale her with the island, Hunter's Bay. We went down and we found like a whole door, just like kind of like ours, with this symbol.
Yes, and I wonder if perhaps they mean the symbols for maybe the old schools of magic, as how they were known.
Perhaps.
Do you know anything of this, Armator?
These symbols to the ones on the gate.
Oh yeah, how's the gate project going?
We're still waiting on the mayor to return.
Hopefully he returns safely. He's been gone some time. The world is a little bit more unpredictable these days.
That's true. We found gremlins on Summit.
Fire breathing and throwing gremlins.
Each of these areas, these marked, segmented rump kingdoms, should have at its core somewhere one of the old schools, usually in the form of a tower. There's one in Valesburg. It's the heart and seat of the Empire of Rossi. The others should have their own, if they survived the ages, their own centers of learning where the masters that followed Ferris centralized and worked from. There may be further clues in these places, but if they're anything like the tower in Valesburg, they may be occupied by people not friendly to your plans.
Are you separate from the fortress itself, or perhaps the one in Ferodia is the fortress?
Say that again, Riven.
Well, you're saying each of these shaded regions has a center of learning.
Mm-hmm.
And Ferodia, the red dot, is one of those regions.
Mm-hmm.
So presumably there is a center of learning in Ferodia. Is there some lost city that we've forgotten, or is it just the fortress? Perhaps it's right over there, I say, pointing to the gate.
Well, I mean, we were in pretty much a wizard's tower inside Hunter's Bay, just in the ground.
That's true.
Perhaps.
It wasn't big enough. I've never been to Valesburg, but I've heard tale of its size. That tower we saw on Hunter's Bay wouldn't compare.
Armator, you once told me that Ferris brought or left the fortress here for a specific region, but that the heart of the empire was to the west.
Mm-hmm.
I feel safe sharing that with my fellows here, considering they have earned their trust.
So, here, I say, pointing to the pink region.
They're an island chain known as the Dardennes.
Huh.
In the pink region?
Dardennes, huh?
I believe
back.
so.
Perhaps their center of learning was a giant ship with a Death Knight on it.
I've never heard of the Dardennes.
Well, at its heart sits a eternal swirling storm, a maelstrom of unending proportions, with a whirlpool centrally located that draws in all seas, pulling all water, slowly spiraling ever towards that direction.
I wonder if Malchus is going there.
That sounds cool.
Some have said, I question, some have said the maelstrom was made by the Archmage Ferris. I think it's a natural phenomena. It certainly predates this age that we're in, the age of man, or the age of iron, as others call it, or the age of independence, as others say. I believe the maelstrom predates those records. I think the maelstrom was the center of power, the center of the empire, because of its potent natural phenomena. I believe that's where Ferris first studied. I have no proof of this.
Interesting.
It is a personal theory.
The maelstrom itself is a sign of the latent magic of the area.
Well,
Somehow I doubt.
Powerful. It's unending. If I were a up-and-coming wizard learning about the world and trying to stabilize magic, I would look towards such a large, chaotic, stable thing myself.
So, I think that makes sense. As to the origin of the maelstrom, from what I know of theology, I don't think Malchus would create a storm that would be permanent. That sounds more like the work of Astaire. That creating order from chaos.
It is an odd thing. You may be onto something.
This maelstrom. Is there a tower at the center of it? Or a city?
I think there's not but a whirlpool at the center of it. There are islands, rings of islands all the way around. There may be something on one of them, but the area is home to a self-righteous, small, localized empire. They are perhaps descendants, in a sense. I myself, as Armator, descend from Ibram, who in this text they call the Conjurer of Gold, but I've never heard that name before.
No, it says Dinesh is the Conjurer of
I'm
Gold.
sorry, yeah, Dinesh, that's exactly what I meant.
Right.
Oh.
Yes.
So you said that, and I point to this light, the green closest to the red dot, and say, "This is where Valesburg is."
Somewhere in there. Further in, I believe. Maybe a few hundred miles from the coast.
I trace my finger down to the next two green parts and say, like, what are these?
I don't know.
Was this all one landmass?
They say he used the floating fortress to unite his empire. If it were one landmass, it would make sense that you would need a fortress to fly over it. But this area is all sea now, all ocean.
Floating could mean on sea.
Could mean.
Right.
Perhaps when the fortress fell, the sea level rose.
Maybe it's just that big.
Must have been a big ass fortress.
The maelstrom predates the apocalypse that happened 1,500 years ago. So at least some of the purple section was water.
Okay.
I have a hard time imagining whole continents the size of oceans swallowed up. I mean, they do say that the seas invaded the lands.
True.
You also said that the maelstrom draws water towards its center. Surely it can't draw water unless it's going somewhere, right? Or am I misunderstanding how water works?
Oh,
when
my
I pour
dear
water
boy.
down
Oh, she says, where are we? We're in Ferodia. We're in Fiscat Lake. Fiscat Lake has 4 rivers that lead from it. Where does the water of the lake come from?
I put my hands on my head. I don't know.
I don't know either. But it makes me wonder. All other lakes I've ever been to are fed by rivers. This lake only feeds rivers.
Huh.
I don't know where the water comes from. And it's fresh.
Well, it must come from the
That
center.
doesn't make sense. I don't know how water works.
It goes downhill, son.
My ignorance
I
is...
know it doesn't work like that.
But where does water come from? These are questions that I do not know if mankind are ready to grapple with.
Just people casting water spell number 1 over and over again.
That's right.
This is the sort of question, out of character here, this is the sort of question that would get some old crazy dude, like, trying to create a diving contraption to go to the bottom of the lake. Like, it's coming from somewhere down there! It's down there! Like, old, cookies.
That'll be us in a few levels' time.
Absolutely.
There's a meteor crater in Arizona where essentially that same thing happened, where there's a huge ass crater and some guy was like, asteroids and meteors have metal in them and this is made from a metal asteroid. Let's go. And they spent a fortune going down into the middle of the crater to try and mine out this giant meteorite made of metal so that they could sell it, only never to find it because it had exploded on impact and scattered the metal all the way around and there was no metal left, but they spent a fortune digging in the middle of this crater to try and unearth that metal.
Wow.
Happens all the time.
That's kind of crazy. Okay. So, what about these other folk mentioned on here? Zubin the Wise, Gorblax the Betrayer, Jira the Great, and these items, the Black Bag, the Rod of All Realms, the Rods of Recall. Do we know anything about these?
Well, Ibram's one of the first pupils of Ferris. I understand that. I don't know Zubin the Wise. It might be one of... If it's one of Ibram's pupils, he's not in the line of Armators.
Describes him as Ibram as his master. I don't know if that means he's a pupil or a slave.
It was a different age.
It's confusing as well. Is Zubin the Wise the last Archmage of the Citadel, or is it Ibram, or is it Dinesh?
My analysis of the text, as I point my glasses back up on my face, it seems that if we were to follow the logic that each line refers to the previous person, then it would be saying that, Ibram would be Master of Zubin the Wise, and Zubin the Wise was the last Archmage of the Citadel, and the last Archmage of the Citadel slayed Gorbax, and Gorbax was Tamer of Jira, and Jira was the craftsman of the Black Bag, and the Black Bag created the Rod of
And the Rod of Recall never lost its faith. Either way, it's confusing.
It's, at the very least, unclear.
Shall we go and, unless the Armator has any more pearls of wisdom, shall we go and compare the symbols to the...
Well, this line that you said here, he never lost his faith. That's something that I was told by my Armator and the Armator before them. That when Dinesh became the first Armator, he stayed. He stayed here in Aknara, well, Fiscat Lake, because he believed Ferris was coming home. And that has been passed down through the ages, and it's been 3,000 years or 2,000 years. It's been a long time, and personally, I have lost my faith. I do not believe Ferris will ever return, but those who came before us thought he was coming back.
The world could use Ferris right now.
Well?
My grandfather told me that men are not dead as long as there are those who still speak their name. Perhaps back doesn't necessarily mean in the flesh, but the ideas and ideals that he stood for.
Perhaps. This
Very
was
philosophical, Zappa.
This rubbing of yours was at the tomb.
Apologies.
Of.
Sorry. Yes, it was at Dinesh's tomb.
Dinesh's tomb.
Put your hands to yourself, Riven.
Is that's just
Dinesh's
in Summit? Tomb. It's just a few islands over.
Yes, but it's
correct.
Empty, looted time and time again. So listen to the mayor.
The cockroach wizards of the past have picked it clean, spoiling our culture's history.
Perhaps if these great devices listed here, the Black Bag, the Rod of All Realms, if they were so powerful, they wouldn't be stored within his tomb. They're probably still in the fortress.
I lean over to Elijah and I say, I've heard a couple of girls in the tavern calling Cedric the Rod of All Realms.
Elijah cracks the fuck up. That's exactly his kind of humor.
Well, one way or the other, it will be up to you to hide or protect or unlock this fortress. Are you still up for it?
Of course. Every breadcrumb leads us closer and solidifies my intent.
What will you do if you unlock it?
Depends what we find.
It's supposed to be the greatest weapon in the land. It's very powerful.
I will do what I swore to do. I will protect the people of Aknara. And maybe bring justice to the world.
I put a hand on Zephyr and look at the Armator and say, we'll liberate the elves. I shoot a dirty look at Cedric.
And
aren't we just meant to be protecting it, not using it?
Surely we have to deal with these vermin if we're going to protect it.
When the gods have landed here, that means we must bring back Ferris. If he still lives, then we must find out what happened to him. and where
I
he
think
is.
there's a reason that the gods chose us for this, and I think that the path they've given us will become more lit and more clear as we go along it. And I think by the time that we find it, we'll know exactly what to do. Isn't that right, my friends?
That's right. I wonder if our paths will cross again with Martha and Malchus. I wonder what they're up to right now. They're still not back in the sky. They're doing something.
It cuts scene, and they're like in a tavern getting drunk. Cuts back to us.
It's strange to think that the gods walk upon this land, and yet the days pass as normal. No fire, no brimstone, no lost relatives returning to us.
Well, if you spent any time in Summit recently, you'd have seen plenty of fire and brimstone.
Do gods take vacations?
Seems
Maybe.
unlikely. Perhaps.
I remember Martha seemed reluctant, and Malchus more mischievous.
You know, the clerics of the olden days, during the Age of Might, they could raise the dead at will, fully back to life. Not as a monster, not as a mummy, not as a zombie, but as a true resurrection. And she looks to Cedric. Perhaps maybe one day you will have that.
Resurrection?
He shrugs. It's what the clerics of old could do. And my dear friend, you are not like any cleric I've ever seen. You dispense healing to every man, woman, and child around you. That is not a normal power. That's beyond the divine of the
weird.
day.
I could bring back my old dog.
Oh, what's
You could bring back Ferris.
She glances towards
Bring
Riven.
back your mom. I look at Riven.
You could make so much fucking money.
Make a lot of money.
Could. Would you do that, Cedric?
Elijah!
Would you
Would I
bring
do
it back?
what?
Apologize.
Your mom?
Yeah.
Rug? You wanted me to.
If it were possible.
If you asked me.
Well, if you ever get the chance, I will.
Maybe I'll kill you and then bring you back.
Wait, what? That escalated quickly.
I say it jokingly.
It could be a
Wonder.
way to know what lies beyond life.
True.
It's true.
It's a glimpse for Lumbra.
Shame so much was lost at the Age of Might. At the end of the Age of Might, I think these questions were answered once.
We're left in the ruins of a crumbled empire, scrabbling at the bones of glory.
Do you know anything about Zubai? We're going to be going there next, and then to Kapan. Kapan?
Kapan?
I think the locals pronounce it Kapan.
Kappa.
It's
Kapan.
a group of dwarves, a clan without a home, migrated here 5 centuries ago.
Dwarves?
Made their home in the area. Now well intermingled with the locals of Ferodia. It's a place of
Love dwarves.
It's a place of tremendous mineral wealth. She looks to
Man, that'd be so cool.
what's his name? Elijah. You would know more about what's in Kapan or Zubai than I would, I believe. I haven't spent much time there.
Over there making amazing crafts. They're blacksmith, armor smithing, and weaponsmith.
I do know.
you've
I
been
do
in your
know a
element,
few
Cedric.
things. I think he thinks about it. If I remember correctly from the papers that I read, there's about 10 or 12,000 people there in the population.
Wow.
They're pretty productive over there. There's it seems to be mostly a city of industry, if I remember right. I know that there was a lot of production output there, specifically when it came to
I don't know how receptive dwarves will be to our questions.
Yeah, I believe it's mainly there's a lot of mining, there's a lot of smithing, there's a lot of work with ores and resources.
Well, the good news is, if there's anything buried beneath the earth that we need to know, they'll have probably found it. The bad news is, they'll have probably crushed it to dust.
Maybe. I mean, you found something valuable while mining, you would keep it around, right?
I'm not sure that dwarves value the same things as us.
I don't know much about them, to be honest.
Still, we set our path, we should see it through.
I agree.
Okay. You can eat here, so you don't burn any rations. I think the town will at least
I need
feed
to
you.
do one little thing quickly.
Oh, yeah?
I would like to gather what I can of the Aknaran Horticultural Society.
Mm-hmm.
And ask them if they'd come for a walk with me.
Sure. Now, this is harvest season, so you'll have to wait until essentially like the end of the day because everyone is, you know, busy making preparations.
It's not a long walk, but it's important.
Okay.
I will take it. We don't have to roleplay it. I'm going to take them to the river with the plants that I'm obsessed with from my intro session, where the plants started to grow and it looked like they were unveiling the ley line. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I haven't got the time to do this myself, but I figured the Horticultural Society will be interested in it. I think that they can breed cuts of these plants and almost like it'll take a long time, but start tracing out the ley lines by planting more of these plants like on either end of the, you know, like the areas where they've grown. You plant like a sort of circle of seeds around that and see where it grows, and then you can extend the line a little bit longer, and then you just repeat and then basically try and trace out the ley lines.
They will do this. Give me a charisma check for that. How well you've managed to. Because they're on board, but like, have you sold them?
Let's go.
They've been practicing horticulture and gardening for a long time, but it's always just been without purpose. And all of a sudden, they can put their hobby to use for their prime purpose in this world. They are fucking on board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel a connection to my mother as I take on the role of leading the Horticultural Society. Okay, with that done, we can get our supplies and get going.
Okay. All right. Any sorts of resupplies you need to make, do it now.
Just rations, yeah.
Do you want to buy any rations, anyone? Or are you good on what you have?
We're not doing monthly expenses, no. So
we're not.
How much have I eaten? How many rations have I eaten? I brought 5 with me on that adventure.
On Summit. I think you probably had 1 day of rations on your way to Summit and 1 day of rations on your way to back from Summit. So
okay, so I need 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need 2. How much is the ration?
2 silver.
2 silver. Okay. I have spent 1 gold. I have put a pre-order in for 10 rations or whatever.
Yeah.
Or 5 rations.
Neil, can I get some more bullets for my sling?
The smith will have to make them for you. If he wants to spend a day in town, he can make you bullets.
The smith is in Cedric.
Yeah.
How many could he make in a day?
You can make 100 a day.
Holy
you gotta
shit.
pay me.
Is it worth doing 1 day? That like 100 is a lot. I've used 13 since the campaign started, so
How many do you have?
7.
We should make some bullets.
I mean, it's going to get increasingly less worth doing, but for now, it's still a thing that I'm probably going to be doing in fights.
Sure, I'll make you 100. You gotta pay me though.
Yeah, fine. How much does it cost to do 100 bullets?
Well, hold on, Neil. I get to choose the price, right?
Like nickel and dime me. I'm not rich like you.
You can
5 gold.
charge him whatever you want.
5 gold.
That's
born
crazy.
yesterday, mate.
You gotta realize this metal is really expensive. And with us adventuring and stuff, you know.
No, 5 gold seems fair. Actually, I'm going to take
Actually,
5 gold.
5 gold
as
is
the price.
underselling. Yeah.
Yeah, I give him 20. I give him 50 silver. Okay.
What'd you give me?
Neil, I want to put some of these in my house. I'm going to put it in my other pack on my character sheet. Okay.
Yep.
Bullets in house. Yeah.
How much did you give me? 50 silver?
50 silver. Yeah.
Yeah, you
I can't believe you tried to fucking barter with me when I gave you a fucking deal.
Yep. Sorry.
It sounded like you were scamming him. I'm going to be real with you.
Did yeah. I still think your intention was to scam me, but you fucked up.
No, I was giving you a good deal, man. We're friends.
Okay.
I'm gonna resurrect your mom for 10,000
Yeah,
gold. So figure it out.
small price of 10,000 gold.
Neil,
If I could resurrect people in the future, I'm gonna be like the most fucking wanted man in the world. So
Oh my god, yeah.
we're gonna have to keep that under wrap and key.
is it possible? Did we get any bows in all the weapons we have pilfered?
Not yet. I don't think there were any bows anywhere.
I was just wondering, like, is it crazy for me to carry around a bow? Because I don't have a range attack.
Do you have a bow
If you
proficiency?
don't have a bow proficiency, then yeah, it's
It's
crazy.
pointless, yeah. Crossbow, though, would be good.
Okay.
Crossbow would work.
Crossbow would be good, yeah.
Yeah, it takes no proficiency to use a crossbow.
Speaking of which, I got another non-weapon proficiency at level 3, correct?
Yeah.
And I haven't used it yet. But I'm keeping my eye out, okay?
Ah.
Probably figure that out, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
All right. Well, party all geared up. Spent one day resting in here and making bullets.
Yeah, can I, when the clerics wake up in the morning, do they have to pray?
No.
And I don't have to study, do I?
No.
On a typical morning, like when we're like camping out in the open and then we wake up, like how long are we like chilling before we get going? Like, I'm trying to work
pray
out like
every day.
could I cast some spells in the morning and recover my MP before I have to like set back out? Because there's one spell I've got, Attune, which lasts 24 hours. So like in theory, I'm thinking I could cast that, kind of go back to sleep for another hour
Don't
and then
do
wake
this,
back up
man.
with full MP.
You're not going to be able to... We talked in the pre-show about how easy it is for you to sleep. I don't think most people can wake up, do something productive, and then like fall back asleep again for another hour that get like proper restful sleep.
Okay, but 3 hours of chilling though would get me also 6 MP back.
Yep.
So
I think I have
is
like a
that-
nap spell too. Oh wait,
it-
actually, you could do that because I have a spell that can just put you to sleep.
What, really?
Yeah, it's I gotta find it.
Wait, that's OP combined with the sorcerers.
Sleeping touch.
Neil's
Holy
like,
shit.
oh fuck.
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
Okay, we should keep that in mind. So that means at any moment we can basically
I can put
get
I can put the whole party to sleep if you need to go.
6.
If you're having insomnia,
2
you're good.
hours and we get all of our magic power back.
Yes. Yes. I highly recommend you put the entire party to sleep and leave one person on watch.
that's what we usually do.
We've played this game before. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Have we, Nick, have we talked about, or have Elijah and Riven talked about the interaction between Wall of Fog and Taunt?
No, I don't think we have, but if you want to bring it up.
I
You've
feel like
seen me cast Taunts a few times. I don't think I've seen you cast Wall of Fog.
no, but I have the spell, and I would probably bring this up to Riven. I was like, hey, Riven, if I could steal you for like a couple minutes, I was just wondering if
Sure,
I'd like
I
a-
come and sit next to you in the pub that night.
yeah. So I have a spell. You know, we call it water spell number 3, obviously.
Yeah.
And
That makes them hard to remember what they do, you know.
it's easier for me to categorize them by numbers like that. You know, it's
Okay.
a little bit I have like a mental filing thing going on. So anyway, I can actually make a 20-foot wall of fog appear. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
And I was wondering if we're ever in a situation where we need to like really confuse, like cause absolute chaos and confusion in a group. I wonder what would happen if we made a bunch of fog appear around them
Uh-huh.
and then taunted them and basically just chased them through the opaque, not this situation where they can't even really see anything. Would we be able to cause a lot of damage, a lot of confusion with this? I wonder.
Yeah, I wonder what would happen if they couldn't see me. Would they still try and charge at me? But the thing is, I guess if we lead them into the wall of fog, you know, they can't see us, but we can't see them either.
Right. Yeah. That would be a problem, huh?
But if there was like a trap or something, right? Like I think that if there was
Yes.
an obvious trap, The taunt wouldn't work to make them run through the trap, but if there was fog covering the trap and I taunted them on the other side, we could probably lure them into the trap.
That seems like a really good... If we're ever ambushing a group or something, we could set up the fog, we could set up a trap, and we could make sure that they always 100% go into the trap no matter what.
Yeah,
right?
even if it was like a river or a canyon or something.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
We should maybe try this out sometime to see if it really works. Maybe we can set something up.
Yeah, there's probably loads of little weird interactions we can do. I mean, I feel like there's so many spells brewing in my mind. I've not even tried to cast half of them, but I just feel like when the moment arises, I'll have what's necessary.
I also wonder, I have a spell, it's called Water Spell number 4. It makes people like really thirsty, unquenchably so. And it just got me thinking about, what if you stack like different effects that may make people, you know, like a taunt and an unquenchable thirst? Which one even takes priority in that situation, right? Do they run to the water bottle? Do they run towards the person taunting them? Do they explode? Like, what happens?
I wonder if, right, I mean, I don't like to talk about this much, but you know how I like plants and I spend a lot of time with them and stuff like that? Well, you know, I've got some ideas. I wouldn't ever do this, you know, but I could probably make like a poison of some sort. Now imagine I'm holding a poison bottle, right? I cast Taunt on someone, they charge towards me, and just as they go to attack me, you cast Unquenchable Thirst on them, and I hand them the poison.
I think this could work. I'm pretty sure.
Just immediately drink it. That's genius.
So it does seem like, for water spell number 4, that if the victim knows that the liquid is poisonous, they will not drink it.
Yeah, but how would they know?
Right. You could just, I think it would maybe be a good idea if you can get that. You know, obviously we would never do this, but
yeah,
considering a world in which this might be possible, obviously this goes against your code and all that, but maybe at some point you could, you know, do some experiments with some poisons and maybe leave a specially marked water bottle somewhere, and maybe that water bottle finds its way into my hands somehow or your hands, and as long as everyone makes sure that nobody drinks it, you know, it's could be useful to just have on us just in case, right?
Well, you know, I wouldn't be so certain I could do these things if I hadn't tried them once or twice.
Right.
But let's say if we meet somebody awful enough that such action might be justified, perhaps I could misplace such a item.
All right.
I'm taking the jumping proficiency.
Oh, base. Yeah.
Okay.
Off to the next island?
Off to the next
Are we doing
island.
a direct trip?
Well, it's not an island, is it? It's a...
That's true, the mainland. So we'll go from Aara, like this, Potato, I think, yeah?
Yeah. Or could we do this?
Can we do this?
Faster.
So this is, here's the deal. If you do this path and the weather holds for the day, it's not a problem because you've got the mountains to guide you. But if it gets foggy or dark or somehow your vision gets obscured, you will find yourself lost and adrift in a lake, which could be potentially a very hazardous situation. So if the weather's good...
Come on.
Yeah. What's the chance
it's not going to
go
be good? For it, guys.
It would only take us half a day to get to this island, and we have mountains. I think we're pretty okay. Like, what's the weather like? I'm looking outside.
Well, you wake up in the morning, right? And in the olden days before weather forecasting, the weather outside in the morning is not necessarily indicative of the weather in the end of the day. But right now, I'm pulling up my weather sheets.
You used to have a weather sense spell on Anton. That was actually kind of useful.
Yeah.
Fiscat Lake in the autumn.
Come on, Zephyr, just let me row. We'll get there quick.
You know, today it's looking pretty clear in the AM, in the early AM. It's the full moon tonight. It's the,
Row hard, Cedric, and if you can get us there, I think if you can get us to the island, we should be fine.
All right. Here's my row roll.
Perfect.
And then I'm
How's
flushing
your
this
navigation
next
roll?
Flushing? Good.
Oh, yes.
Gotta flush a 7, yeah.
Flush?
What was a flush?
I'm just getting rid of the roll for the future, so when I roll next time, I'm gonna have a better roll than a 7.
You rolled a 16, so you had to get rid of the shitty roll that
I
was
gotta
about
get rid
to
of the
come
shitty
next.
roll.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
He was buttering up his dice. That's
Nice.
fucked.
Nice.
Just extra D&D play for it.
Well, these little...
I feel
You
like
probably
Neil
should
should
roll
make you
again,
hold
because
that
you just hit
7.
a 20. I'm gonna be honest.
True.
Here, I'll roll the 22. Boom, 15. That's a great roll.
That was
Fuck.
pretty good.
Nice.
I'm saving
I bet you
mine.
my neck roll is sick too. Yes!
Oh!
Terrible. All right.
I know I had some good
Did we get there?
rolls.
As the day rolls on, storm clouds do begin to gather overhead, and it does begin to rain, but not before, it won't obscure your vision. The boat will get a little water in it. What did you roll for your strength check at 25?
34.
Right.
A 34.
Oh, a 34. That's quite good. Yes. So you will make it to the coastline. You will all be soaked. All your gear is going to get wet because you are having to row in the rain and there's no cover anywhere. You can maybe hold a shield over your head, but how long can you hold a 16-pound shield over your head? It's going to get tiring. And then the water still collects in the boat and everything's going to get sopping. So who is carrying paper or parchment on them?
That
am,
would be me.
but I'm carrying papyrus and parchment. It's in my bag.
backpack.
Yeah, I
have writing supplies in my pack.
Your writing kit will stay nice and dry. It's a little box that shuts.
I got a writing kit, yep.
The writing kit is fine. I'm worried about the papyrus, not so much the vellum. Let me open up the saving throw table for our
Would we have
gear.
taken the drawing back with us, or would we have left it?
The drawing would be
yeah.
in the writing kit because the
Okay.
writing kit's like a box,
Yeah, and it's your research, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. I'm gonna need Cedric, since you've got the pack with all of the papyrus that you picked up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have you give me 2 saving throws to see how much of your stuff gets damaged. You need to roll a 15 or better on each of them for the things not to be screwed.
What are the saving throws?
15 or better on a d20.
Oh, just a d20. All right.
Yeah.
Here's number 1. There's number 2.
All right. So about half the papyrus that you have gets too damp. At
have
first it
3.
seems fine, but in a couple days it's just going to be delaminating and falling apart. So you can just burn those 3 right now. The others are fine. And
Well, I only have 3.
Oh, you only have 3. Roll me a
So am I burning 1 or 2?
You roll me a d6. On 1, 2, 3, it's 1. On 4, 5, 6, it's 2. You burn 1. And Zephyr,
I'm taking it off.
you've got your writing supplies. Your writing. We're just.
I also have a clay tablet.
Clay tablet does not bother with the water. It's lovely. You can keep notes on clay tablets all day long, and they'll be fine.
Because you can just rub them off.
Yeah. Okay. So
I got chalk, candles, bedroll, all that stuff.
Yeah. Give me the same saving throw for your chalk. 15 or better on a d20.
15 or better on a d20?
Yeah.
That's easy.
Oh, your chalk is, it gets wet, it breaks apart, it crumbles. You just got to chuck it. These things happen
My
sometimes.
chalk.
You'll replace it later.
How much is chalk?
It's fucking cheap. If it's available, it's
Okay.
available cheaply.
Okay.
Riven, it doesn't look like you have anything that's going to get ruined. Elijah, let me take a look at your gear. Booklet of instructions from boss. Yeah, that's
pretty
it,
sure
actually
that one,
in a book. Oh, but it's 0. You don't have it?
Yeah, I burned that shit when we were fighting the slimes.
All right, I'm just going to remove it from your character sheet. Perfect.
Yep.
A wedding ring that you carry on yourself. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, great. Perfect. We're good. You will make it to Zubai in the late afternoon. And
As we get closer, I guess I'll say to Zephyr, what's the plan here? We're going to go and try and speak to the head dwarf, or
Well,
do we
Cedric
want
was
to low-key?
Cedric was really set on coming here, and so I think I wanted to give him a chance to shine. Cedric, what's the plan here in Zubai?
We go feel it out. Maybe we're on a mission to see if we need, if anybody needs any blacksmithing stuff. Take some few orders. We could hear and listen what's happening in the town. Ask some questions. We can use my blacksmithing as a guise of why we're here.
We're exploring and learning more. So strong.
If they've ever had any maybe new monsters are popping up here too. Maybe someone needs something done.
That's a good point. There's always things happening.
Magic
in the world,
items,
especially these days.
We need to find
having
out
a relationship with Zubai. Can I trawl back in my memory?
Right?
Does Aknara? Sorry, what?
We need to find out what they know. Like if there's a clue here, or yeah,
that's true. Sorry, Neil. Do we? Would I know if the town already has a relationship with Zubai?
The mayor normally runs foreign relations, right? And the mayor is new because the old one also recently died. So there's some level of like communication that happens back and forth, but it's mostly with the former mayor who's now dead.
Right.
Yeah. And he also runs most of the trade and most of the import-export, so...
Our mayor sucks. We should just do a military takeover.
So we're a bit in the dark, I guess, going into this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's worth exploring. We're traveling in the dark, and we just need to know more. It's always worth it to explore.
We could riverboat up to Kapan if we wanted.
You could bring it up the river to Kapan, you hope? You think it's a rowboat, so it should probably go up most rivers.
Kapan is dwarves also.
Your expectation is that this little segment here is a dwarven colony that has now intermixed with the local population. So it's probably not 100% dwarven.
Immigrant dwarves.
Coming over here, mining our metals. Building those useful tools. Get back underground.
Okay.
All right, we go.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Fine. We approach. What does it look like, Neil, from the sea of our rowboat?
Zubai.
Is it impressive enough to distract me from Cedric's glistening biceps?
Probably not. No. Zubai is a town of short, squat stone buildings with lots of windows in them, non-glazed windows. You can see a 3-story building that's only like 10 feet tall because it's sized for dwarves. You know, right there on the coastline. This is the river that runs through the town, and most of the town's on one side of the river. It doesn't straddle the river, and so it's all over there on the east side of the river. And there's a lot of short, squat stone buildings, and then there's a couple of similarly sized wooden buildings that look like they're for normal, medium-sized creatures to hang out in, normal man-sized creatures to hang out in. But on this rainy, stormy day, there ain't nobody in the streets. Everyone's hanging out indoors.
We should talk mainly probably to the humans, because the dwarves are, and I'm not trying to be racist here, okay? The dwarves are new, so they're not going to know literally all of the old lore. True. However, the counter-argument to that, the counter-argument to that is, these guys like to dig, so they could have been digging and found something under the ground. So it goes both ways. I don't really,
Yeah. But they also guard their secrets jealously. I don't know what these kind of dwarves are like. I don't know.
All dwarves.
Maybe we should just find out. We should just go there and find out.
Yeah, let's go look for the tavern. We should at least get out of this rain.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tavern brawl time.
Okay, we pull up on the docks.
It's always a tavern brawl, man.
No, not this time.
The party approaches the docks. There is a single person hanging out near the docks who, as you come up and start lashing your little boat to the little wooden pier that sticks out in the water, comes over with like a heavy trench coat, pulled over their head and starts yelling at you, "Get the hell out of there! What the heck are you from?" You're just sort of like shouting weird things at you until you finish lashing your boat and climb up, and he like shakes his head and throws his hands up in the air and goes like, "Well, you're gonna have to pay the docking fee now. Hurry up and get out of this rain." and like hurries back down the docks towards you
with my trench coat, and I'll hand him. What do you expect? What color's your coin?
To park at the big dock. It's a gold a day.
I'd laugh at him.
Is that like $100?
Yeah.
Are you giving me the tourist price?
You parked at the big dock. You lashed up there. If you want to take your boat all the way and haul it up the Greach, you can park for free.
How many days do you think we're going to be here? I ask.
We can move the boat when it's not raining tomorrow.
We'll move the boat tomorrow. Let's call it 5 silver.
Gold a day is the fee.
Yeah, but is it really?
What if it was?
The person looks at you and give me a charisma.
No boat was parked.
Give me a charisma check, Elijah.
Oh.
You recognize this person. This is a dockmaster that you have seen before, because you travel around these islands. You know, you have to do all this nonsense. Sometimes you have to stop off at Dubai, and a good bureaucrat always remembers the face of the person who runs the institutions that you have to interact with.
Yeah.
And with the 29, not only do you recognize this person, you recognize their name. Their name is Arthur.
Through the rain, I go, "Are you Arthur?"
They look over at you. Hi, that's my name. Arthur the Man of Docks.
I remember you. Elijah Evans?
Shakes his head.
Come on, from Just Stars Bay. You remember me, right? We used to,
Oh, you're the accountant.
Right. Yeah. Your friendly neighborhood accountant, Elijah, right? Remember?
Why, I didn't see the flag. I didn't realize this was official business.
Of course it's official business. Yeah. No, super important stuff.
Well, of course, if it's official business, all fees are waived. Obviously,
right?
I look at. Oh my god!
I look at Cedric and the others. Arthur and I, we go way back. Anyway,
this is
that's great.
So we can get out of this rain.
Well, of course, I would never stand in the way of official duty.
Thanks, Arthur.
You're the man, Arthur. Look forward to seeing you again sometime. We should go get a beer sometime, man.
All right. It sounds like a. Okay. You have a nice day.
All right. I'll see you around, Arthur. Thank you so much, man.
He shakes your hand.
Away. Elijah, that was sick. How did you do that?
Listen, a bureaucrat. We get around, right? We know people.
Damn.
And I never, you know me, I never forget a face, right? Obviously. And I can put a face to the name. And this guy, he tried to do this with me before, right? When I was traveling for business, he tried to get me, tried to give me like the whole one gold a day thing. And I was like, it's not happening. We're here in official business, right? And before that, they were like, oh, we don't care. But, after a while, we discussed it, and they know how important this kind of business is when an accountant or something goes, or someone comes here, right? It's what keeps the towns running, the economy between them, right?
This is official business,
right?
It's just different type of business.
Murder.
Right, yeah, it is. No, that's what I told him too last time, yeah.
Yeah,
I can see why
Zephyr made you the hand pulling up here. I mean, what are we doing? A gold a day? Jesus,
it's outrageous.
Yeah,
we need to start charging people who shack up their boat at Aara.
I think we need to also maybe make more obvious that we're traveling on official business, and in favor of. I'm just but I'm just like, obviously as the hand of the overseer, right? I can always handle these.
You've
kinds
actually
of things.
got a really good point. I said, which one of you two would like to be the crier of the overseer?
Oh, that's a good question.
Or perhaps the announcer?
Yeah.
Do you need to cry, Zephyr?
Cedric, you've got a pretty loud voice, I feel like.
Yeah, but I'm the rower. No one's gonna believe that I'm also the crier.
What's the word for someone who
could do
like
both.
When you're at like a fancy ball, it's like announcing that Lord Ribbleball, the herald of the overseer.
Right.
Riven, congratulations. You've been appointed herald of the overseer.
Riven, congrats.
Wow, yeah, thank you. That's amazing.
I don't think you're going to do very good at that.
What do you mean? I'll try really hard. I'll do a really good job. You wait and see.
All right, we'll do it in the bar. Let's see how you do it when we enter the bar.
I'm not going to do it in the bar. That's cringe.
You have to announce.
You have to announce whenever we enter a building. You have to announce.
No, you have to. You have to announce when we enter the bar. That's what they do,
guys. Well, they're gonna. If we say that, they're gonna come and try and charge us the $1 a day. We need to keep our cover.
We're on official business. You gotta announce. No,
it's a different kind of official business.
Anyway,
I'm still considering. I'm still considering the promotion anyway.
Okay.
I request 2 days to reply. I need to
got one.
I mean, if you want, I'll announce at the bar.
Yeah,
we don't. Zephyr is like seeing this as like, okay, maybe this is going too far. I don't think I need to be announced, but like, I do need someone who is my guy, who's like telling people we're here on official business.
You need someone to jerk you off. I got him.
Where are all your guys?
I need a fluffer. You know what I mean?
I want Elijah's not fluffing you enough.
No, well, he's good, but he did a great job.
I've got important hand of the overseer stuff to attend to. I can't be seen.
What do you
both
think
heralding
him
means? But then also
well, to be
being
clear, you're junior hand of the overseer.
I'm the hand.
Oh wait, no, sorry. You were junior warden, and now you're full warden, and now you're hand of the overseer. Sorry.
Right.
I was going to promote you to senior overseer, which is what Riven is.
That's true. I'm senior overseer. Yeah.
Is Cedric
as well? No, I don't think so.
I'm not
he spent so much time blacksmithing. I've been an overseer for like 30 years.
Wait, I thought you were a warden.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, senior warden.
Warden, right? Yeah.
I'm the overseer. There's only one overseer. I have one hand minimum.
Yeah, because that's what you inherited it, right? A Nepo overseer. Yeah.
Right.
I need to. Excuse me.
I'm the overseer's knight.
Sorry, I misspoke.
What did you say?
I just said the overseer. The overseer.
Okay.
Yeah.
We get in the bar.
It's semi-hereditary. I need to choose an heir.
In high spirits, despite the day on the lake and the storm, the party enters the closest tavern that they can find to get out of the rain. Now you're soaked head to toe. You're gonna need to strip off all your clothes as soon as you can. And hang them out to dry, or at least sit in your wet stuff to get a little bit of warmth back in your system.
I get in the bar and I strip. Here's my charisma check for how it comes up.
Oh,
the thing is, they start throwing up.
Cedric heads in the bar. Starts taking off the clothes, and look, Cedric is a muscly man. Not only is he a muscly man, but even before we had, figured out his high strength, he was known as the most eligible bachelor in all of Aknara.
16 hotness.
So you're all expecting this to be met with some amount of like, woo, woo, but instead it's met with like, what the fuck do you think? There's children in here. Put your clothes back on. God damn it. Who the hell are you? And like instant agitation by the local staff and by the locals themselves as your pants are coming off. Yeah.
Sorry. I'm just so wet from the outdoors.
The innkeeper hurries over
Cedric
to
embarrassed or not?
Ooh, good question.
Sorry, innkeeper. We need a room. Do you have
Cedric
a room?
What?
Embarrassed.
I don't know. Embarrassment check? No.
Nice.
Confident man.
Yeah. He's just got bad taste.
Sorry, innkeeper. We need a room, please. My companion cannot bear to keep his clothes on, much to the chagrin of myself and the people of this tavern.
The woman stands before you. Well, this common room is definitely not the place to be changing clothes, but I would be happy to sell you each a room for the night.
Maybe I could stay in your room. Winks.
Right.
Give me a
you don't have to give him a room.
Charisma check.
Oh.
Cedric? Oh, 20. That is a failure. Clover will shake her head and be like, that's 2 strikes.
Oh, shit. All right.
Third strike, you're out on your ass.
How much is a room, Hon?
It's a nice ass.
On my other sheet of paper. I think it's 5 silver a night. It comes with dinner tonight and breakfast in the morning and fresh sheets and a clean chamber pot.
We get one room.
And 5 silver. I want my own room.
All right,
Neil,
you're
do
getting
I
charged
recognize
extra for
this
bullets
person
next
too?
time.
Did you want your? I'm sorry. What'd you say, Elijah?
Do I recognize this person too?
Give me a charisma check at -4. Yeah, you of course recognize Clover. You've only been to Zubai like once or twice. You normally deal with the islands, but sometimes you had to stop over here while a ship was stopping, right? And so you stayed at this tavern, obviously.
Wait, Clover. You remember me, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. Lots of people come and go all the time, says the human standing before you.
She's human.
Yeah, no, I know, but Elijah, the accountant, ring any bells?
Okay. Yes, she does remember you. That's what the dice tell me. But Elijah's not the most memorable person. I don't know how you keep getting lucky. But she looks at you and goes, "Oh, you were here with the other man, the architect, last time. Maybe a year and a half ago."
Yeah, that's one of my best friends, that architect guy. We go way back. You remember us hanging out? You remember we were here last time for pretty official stuff, right? Not that I could say, but you remember, right?
Of course.
Right.
And as a citizen of the Empire, anything to help the administrators of Just Stars Bay.
The administrators of Just Stars Bay. That's right. That's who I represent. That's honestly, when I walk in here, that's who I'm thinking of. That's who I represent. And I want you to be thinking about that too when you price out that room, is just what I'm saying.
Oh no, this is terrible because no one's going to ever work with us.
Well, please.
Hold on, Elijah. Wait a minute.
I'm chatting with my friend Clover over here.
I pull him in and I say, "Listen, I know old habits die hard, right? And I take him over like a school teacher would take out like someone who's being naughty in class, and I'm like talking to him. It's like, listen, we don't need to lie to these people. We could just tell them we're from Magnara,
right?
But like, just don't tell them that we're from Just Stars Bay, because
that's not what I said, is it? I just said
but you said a thing about keeping it in mind when you're pricing up the room, and I think listen, there's a thing called a lie by omission, and listen, I get it, but can we try to play it above board? Anyway, right, back, let's go.
Above board, gotcha, okay.
I slowly slide my 5 silver back.
Yeah, so anyway, Clover, just trying to figure out between an old friend and me, and
whether or not we're going to share a room, and I reach over and I squeeze Elijah's butt very gently.
Right, and just making sure that you got the right stuff going on. Whatever.
All right, so yeah, we'll pay for our rooms and then
we'll pay for our rooms.
Oh no, that's okay. That's okay. On the house.
No, we couldn't do that.
What? No, we couldn't do that.
I insist.
No, we're here on official business. We need to invest in the local economy. No. We pay our bills.
Official business, invest in the local economy. Elijah, you found yourself a funny wife.
I hand her a gold coin and I say, "At least let me give you a tip for the rooms."
Well, tips are always appreciated. Was that 2 rooms then?
That's
or 2 nights in one room.
I'll get my own room.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just. We should, we all need to get our rest, and we all need our personal space, right?
I think I need sleep this time around, so I would like my own room.
I'll get lucky every time, champ, I say as I punch Elijah on the arm.
All right, you all get your rooms.
I'm paying my 5 silver now.
You pay your 5 silver. Food,
yes,
lodgings. There's no clean clothes in there, but you can go into your rooms and wring out your clothes into your chamber pots and let them dry. Maybe just wear your small clothes, or I don't know. Maybe you've got like a spare shirt. No one actually carries spare clothes with them, so
no.
It's just a wet night. It's a wet night.
I come downstairs and I put 3 gold on the bar, and I say, "Beers for everyone," and I'll call out, "Hey, sorry for offending everyone earlier. Beers are on me. Have a few rounds."
All right, I come down to drink then if Cedric's buying.
You know, if you buy a round, that's a good way. Everyone, as long as you haven't killed anyone, that's a pretty good way to wash things over. And the rest
before Zephyr comes down, she'll spend some time praying to Malchus, and it'll be something like this. It'll be like, Malchus, I sense great chaos coming tonight. Please give me the strength to make it through these events. Then I come back downstairs.
So
second we enter a tavern every time.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out if Cedric buying the round makes the bar fight more or less likely. I think it might be more likely.
Probably more.
Yeah,
probably more because people
just
get bunkered up
300 beers or something, right?
Yeah. So however much I put 3 gold down, Koibu. However much money, how many beers does that get the bar?
Let's see, that's 300, and it's about 4 copper a beer. That's 75 beers.
Okay, good. So we're gonna be popping tonight.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how many people are in here? Like 30.
Whinge about paying a gold a night to park our ship.
31. Yeah.
Throw 3 gold on the bar.
Nice.
Yes.
That's
okay. We have a good night then.
Makes sense.
Most consistent.
No one likes to be taxed or given fees, but everyone's generous at heart.
Yeah,
exactly.
True.
It's true.
It's about the intention, isn't it?
I would like to spend my time at the bar chatting with the locals, picking up any local news, getting to know some people.
Always.
Do we want to role play that, or do you want me to roll a dice to see how my chatting goes?
Let's start with a die roll and take it from there.
As an observation, this group, I do think we struggle with, like, we're so comfortable, like, just chatting bullshit with each other in character that we can we can while away hours just kind of like chatting about random nonsense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like a charisma check from you.
Skaboosh, 16 plus 18. That's a 34.
Blessed by the gods, are you? So you're chatting with the locals about information about what's going on?
I'm just getting to know them. I'm like, how's it going? You look like you're... I look around the room. Who do I see?
There's a smattering. I said there's 31 people here. They're about half dwarven, and then most of the remainder are humans, but there are a couple of half elves in here as well. And they're not even like
clumped
together. Are there
any mixed tables?
There are.
Where like dwarves, humans, and elves are sitting together?
There's a table with 2 dwarves and 3 humans, and there's a table with 3 dwarves, a half elf, and a human.
I'm gonna go to the table with the half elf.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
3 dwarves, half elf.
I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna walk up and I'll say, "Is this a table that welcomes newcomers?"
Well, you're with the guy that just bought a round of drinks, so of course, says one of the humans. My name is Joel.
Oh, well, thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Joel. Pleasure. I'm Zephyr.
Oh, Zephyr. Well, these are my friends. Your kin over there. Their name is Patty.
Oh, Patty. My great uncle had that name.
Cool, Patty. How many, Jamie?
My middle name is Patty. Anyway.
And these are Lime, Chip, and Steel.
Lime, Chip, and Steel. Those are very earthen names.
Mm-hmm.
I would steal some lime chips right now. That sounds sick.
What do you do here, Joel? What's your... I'm getting to know the people here. I've never been to Zubai before. What's the town like? What do people do for fun around here?
Fun? We break rocks for fun. Yeah, we break them into smaller rocks, and when those rocks are small enough, we heat them up real hot. Or we're all smelters.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, if you keep breaking a rock in half, like, what happens?
You get sand, sir. You get sand.
But then if you keep breaking that sand in half, does it just disappear?
He looks at the others, and they all lean in. And Joel says, well, the thing is, the sand gets so fine that you have a hard time breaking it. Soon, you're clearing off your anvil. You're setting your tiny grain of sand down, and you're tapping, and it's hard to tell if it breaks or not. Maybe a little bit of dust comes off, and then you blow, and the little piece that you're trying to smash gets lost. The truth is, you lose track of the ability to control the grain before you get to the answer.
And I look around the table, like, have you all tried this out of curiosity before?
There's some heads that go around the table. Aye, says Chip. Every now and then we've got a little tourney going on to see who can produce the smallest bit of something, before it gets too out of hand. Personally, I won the smallest marble award earlier this year.
That's impressive. Kind of reminds me when I go fishing. I used to do a thing where I'd try to catch the smallest fish I could and then use that fish to catch a bigger fish until I could catch no bigger fish. I think the biggest one I ever caught was about this big, and I hold out my hands like between my shoulders.
They all seem impressed.
You gotta make boring work interesting, right?
Is that what you are then, a fisherman? Are you wearing your armor, I should say, before I ask that question?
Not tonight, no, because my armor would have been soaked and wrecked.
But you
or whatever.
came in with the armor and then you took it off in your room. Yeah.
Okay.
Do all
my
the
armor's
fishermen
still on?
Oh, okay. Do all the fishermen where you come from wear breastplates?
Well, truth be told, I'm not a full-time fisherman. That's what I do for my fun and in my spare time. I'm a shepherd by profession, but my real role is actually as overseer of Aknara. I'm the, I suppose you could say I'm the head of the military. Well, more like a town watch.
They quickly make intelligence checks across the board. One of them, Patty pipes up and goes, "Oh, Aknara. That's one of the islands just off the coast. Big place, right? Lots of folks. Tall mountain to run down the middle."
That's right.
I've been to Aknara once.
Absolutely.
Maybe 30 years ago.
Oh, wow. You take me by surprise, old-timer. I thought you were a young whippersnapper.
No. I'm 130 years old, says Patty the half-elf.
That's impressive. Did you know... Wait, what's my mom's name? Oh, fuck. God, what was my mom's name? Did you know my mom, Martha, lived on Aknara?
He shakes his head. No, I only went through the one time. Long time ago. Ain't no ore on Aknara, but I had a cousin. They were heading out there. Went for a little visit just to see the sights, walk around. Yeah, it's a nice place.
Yeah, it is a nice place, and the people there are good.
Well, what do you want out of these?
Never heard of an elf who breaks rocks before. Not with dwarves, anyway. It's mighty interesting. Do you think you can keep up with those guys?
I'm actually the charcoal procurer. Those two do the smashing. That one does some other stuff. I work on the charcoal. You see, you got to get the charcoal just right. You want to burn it.
I just want to pause you, Neil, because you said those two do the smashing, and then you said the other guy does the mother stuff. It sounded like
the other stuff.
Anyway, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, Patty will talk at length about the charcoal making process, and the others have all heard this story before, so they kind of kick back and start to whisper amongst themselves as your conversation continues about the pros and cons of suffocating
Can I do a
fire
building
early.
check?
Ooh.
To see if I can come up with something that he has never thought of when building the fire for the charcoal?
Yeah, go for it.
Like a little tip. Like, boom. I roll a 24. I say, sometimes when your sticks are wet, you put them in your armpits and you spin them a little. That can actually warm them up to make them easier to light up. So, I fucking give them like a little tip or something like that.
Yeah. Your tip is met with some chuckles. It's like, oh, that's quaint. But actually, if your wood's wet, really what you want to be doing is housing it with some other stuff and letting the latent heat of the reaction dry the wood in the process. and they begin to go off on detailed analysis.
I fucking sink into my beer and I say, "That's really fascinating." Hey, what do you? What was it? It was they're all rock breakers.
Cut over to Elijah talking to Riven. Elijah is 4 beers deep at this point, and that was the first time I realized, I think I don't love my son. I see him and I see my own face in him, but I don't think I recognize the person in there. It's the same person that looks back at me in the mirror with those dead eyes, and I all I can think of is his life going to be as fucked up as mine? Is it?
Oh, Elijah, if he's anything like you, I look you right in the eyes, I'm sure he's wonderful.
Maybe. Smells pretty bad though. He downs his beer.
Cut over to me.
Smells bad.
Cedric's sitting there, and as people come over to thank him for the beers or talk to him, or etc., because that's what they're gonna do, guaranteed. Cedric is gonna advertise and say, "Hey, I'm a cleric of Martha. Do you know anybody who needs healing? I'm selling my services for a very, kind rate.
A line has been crossed.
All right.
You can donate to the church, for a small donation to the
Cedric.
church is kind of how he'll put it off. Yeah.
Yeah. So they'll ask if this is diseases or just injuries.
It would be injuries, or if you have someone who is having, trouble having a child, I can actually create them, something that if they worship, it'll help them along with their fertility.
Well, that's an interesting line. Because all throughout the world, there are childless couples desperately trying to conceive and failing to do so. This person that is hearing this story doesn't believe it. It's too good to be true. It sounds like a lie. They're suspicious of the truth you're telling them. Would you make me a charisma check as I have them roll to disbelieve your truth? Oh, no, they failed miserably. They eye you up and down.
I can also...
Yeah?
And also prove it because I feel like it does sound like a pretty fantastical snake oil salesman thing.
Totally.
So, I'll prove it by casting a Cure Light Wounds on them. I'm sure they're not injured or a bless. Just something that proves that I have magic and they can see the magic and,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Excellent.
So tell your friends I'll be in town for the next few days. I'm already working on one right now, and they'll look, and I'm whittling a fertility totem, just getting it ready.
When the clerics cast spells, do they do somatic and verbal components, or is it more?
Yes.
My Cure Light Wounds is verbal and somatic, yeah.
Okay, it is, yeah.
Yes.
So what's their action when he casts a spell on them? I think I notice it and sort of stop.
Well, because you're talking about healing and all this stuff, and someone's like, I don't really believe that you're going to be able to, properly help someone conceive a child, and you're like, well, I can heal that blister that you've got on your hand, and we kind of been glossing over these verbal components. This is a really good time to introduce it. Typically, under normal cleric circumstances, the verbal component would be a prayer to Martha. However, you are all very weird, unusual, accidentally splashed with magic sorts of classes. So what is your verbal component when you cure the wounds?
Yeah, the way that I like to think about it is... The way Cedric does his magic, it's kind of through like vibrations and pitches of his voice. So for his Cure Light Wound specifically, it'll be like a certain like hum that he's trying to like tap into like a certain frequency is kind of how his verbal mechanism will work. Whether it be like he has to open his mouth and like actually do like a ha, something like that. But that's kind of like the way that I'm thinking about it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. As the blister heals over, the reaction of the people is actually quite astounding. This is casual barroom magic, a practically unheard of thing except by like magicians, like fakes, card trick people. And the person whose hand you healed is an older gentleman, maybe in his mid to late 60s. And he looks at the blister that goes down and then looks at you and goes, "Oh my God. Father of Martha, please, my daughter, she's been trying a long time, and I ain't got a single grandkid, and it's got her quite distraught. She thinks that Martha has cursed her for some misdeed. Could you undo whatever? Could you ask Martha to relieve her curse and let her be fruitful?
I nod. Of course, for a small donation, anything is possible. It takes me about a day to make one of these, and as I'm like, whittling and working on it, I'm starting to now form it into like a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll kind of be paying for my time. What could you offer me? I could be paid in knowledge or money. Kind of shrug. Something that piques my interest. Because I'm sure I look around the bar. I mean, we have a lot of wandering eyes.
Do you have a need for knowledge about mining? Because I'm a miner.
Think. Maybe not.
Silvers, then. Silver.
I chuckle. Silver would work.
Hold on.
In the quantity of gold.
Well, I'm but a poor miner. I'm sure I could scrape together 30 silver?
Shake my head. Sorry, that's just not worth my time. 30 silver for my day's work is nothing. I mean, look at how many people are looking at us.
Well, will you be here long? Let me see if I can't go find something else. Please, just if you stay a couple days.
Overhearing this conversation. Okay.
I make my way to the bar to get a beer. Do I overhear this?
When the dwarf walks away from
keeping it quiet, yeah.
When the dwarf walks away from Cedric, I'd like to go up to the dwarf.
Yeah.
And say,
the dwarf is like trying
to
leave the bar to go get some money, but you can catch them on the way out.
Raid his hoard, yeah.
Yeah, if I catch them on the way out and I say, I heard you talking to my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to help out, and I hand him 50 silver.
You're such a bastard.
The dwarf looks at the coins and looks up to you and goes, "What's it to you?"
I just like to do a good deed when I hear one, or I see the chance.
Give me a charisma check here, Riven. This is an unusual gift being plopped into this person's lap.
Dwarf. 23.
My father always told me that if elf ever offered you a gift, it was somehow a trap. That the fey folks of the forest are always seeking for the upper hand. But I don't believe that for a moment. You there, man.
I heard similar stories from my elders as well, but me? I'm a half-elf. I'm a testament to what can be achieved when different people work together.
I don't know how to thank you.
Well, my friend in there, he does covet coin donations, so hopefully this is enough.
Well, it's going to a good cause, right?
Of course, yes.
Well, thank you 1,000 times over. If you ever have need of any digging or mining related information or advice, or you have but come ask for the master digger, Kroger.
Well, Kroger, if you don't mind, when you've been digging here for a long time, I guess.
Aye.
Anything you could know could help us. Have you ever come across something in the earth? Anything unusual? Something old, perhaps, that may have related to a time gone by? Is there someone amongst you in the town here that might be an expert on such archaeological finds?
Oh, my dear friend, you've come to the right city. Zubai and Kapan are both built upon the ruins of a destroyed and ancient civilization. There's all sorts of things in the earth here. Can't help but dig and come up with an old cobblestone or an old window frame.
So is there a catalogue of things that you found, or perhaps any entrances into the ruins below ground?
Oh, are you a wizard?
I give him a wink.
Well, we get your kind coming through here all the time. Yes. There is the old wall in Kapan.
Tell me more.
He looks at you and he realizes that he's got you on the hook here. And then he looks at the 50 silver that you gave him unasked for.
Thank you very much.
Pretty nice, yeah. Well,
this is actually a pretty good scam we've pulled here because you've created a need.
Yeah.
I've filled it. And then we've got what we needed.
Yep.
Actually, so yeah.
So you're standing outside of the tavern because you caught him on the way out, still under the overhang, the lively music coming from inside, the rain and thunder on the outside. He looks at you and goes, we were digging in Kapan. Well, my father was digging in Kapan. I heard the story from him myself. We hit a layer of solid stone, real flush, all the way through and smoothed, as smooth as a baby's bottom. There was but one little hole in it, and there was a staircase that we had to dig out, filled with mud and silt from ages past. And when excavated, it was a huge underground chamber with writings on the walls.
Well.
Oh, fuck. Do you think our place is... You remember how we went down and it was like it just was earth?
Yeah.
That could be excavated.
When was this? When did you find this?
A few hundred years back, when my father was doing the initial excavations.
Would if I wanted to see this chamber, would I be able to find it myself if I traveled to Kapan, or would I need a guide?
It's in a personal residence these days.
We'll give this guy a fertility totem.
We get
for it.
People coming from time to time asking about these things, digging up old legends, looking for old ruins, searching for ancient magics. This area, once upon a time, I don't know if you know this, was the seat of power of a great empire thousands of years ago. And there's little bits of it left over, little symbols etched into walls or found on lost stones and creeks. They all pop up from time to time.
Well, that is fascinating.
Well, is that why you're here too?
Well, we're here on official business, but
How official?
I kind of look over my shoulder and then look back over the shoulder and go like this. I can't really say.
Drug addict?
But no, I can't really say, but it's important. You said that this chamber is in possession of someone.
Mm-hmm.
What are they like? Is it a wizard?
No, they're a merchant. They deal in finished smelted goods. Kapan and Zubai, excellent deposits here. We smelt it down into bars, ship it off to the rest of Ferodia and the world beyond. That's our game. And the person in Kapan whose basement is this chamber, they use it to house finished bars. Copper, silver, iron, whatever they've got.
What's this chap's name?
Her name? Good female dwarven name.
Her name.
Yeah. Her name is Ruby.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your help, Krogan. And I got a real feeling that you've probably got enough money there to satisfy Cedric. So you go and see your family. I'm gonna have a word with them. I'm gonna get that thing sorted out for you.
The dwarf will
right quick.
Head back in with the 50 silver in hand, add it to the 30 silver he already has, and offer it to Cedric. 80 silver for a day of work.
Has Riven talked to me or given me a look right now or anything?
No, but I'm gonna wait for him to go.
Okay, then I'm sorry. I was thinking in the magnitude of 50 gold.
I kick you under the table. Okay, I'll kick you under the table.
Oh,
I do now. Okay. I wasn't, but now I see you do this. I
look over. Huh?
I give you like a sort of like motioning towards the dwarf. Like,
oh, he's gonna help us then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Whatever deal you've made, I'm more than happy to roll with. I do need to meet your daughter and the husband, though.
Of course.
Part of the ritual.
Please come bless my daughter's loins.
Jesus.
Those are words that I never thought I would ever say in my life that just keep coming up.
You know, it's this totem. I'll kind of explain to him how it works as I'm whittling on it. Basically, I create this, and then you'll pray to it and worship it. It's going to be in the image of the Mother Martha. And then as long as she and him show devotion to the totem, it will continuously increase their chances of conception. So it could take a few weeks, take a few months, but if they don't show devotion, even for a day or two, they stop praying to it, it's going to stop working. Right now, it'll last about 4 days without it being worshipped, but I really recommend that they should worship it daily. Mm-hmm. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Show devotion to the mother, the totem, once a day. Both of them take 5 minutes and devote some time and worship to it, and I promise you will have a grandson in no time.
Right. Fertility totem. And people thought it would be a useless spell. Look at that.
This is a really good spell, actually.
It's a good spell.
Because you can also sell clerical shit, and I don't think anybody else can make these right now. No normal clerics. At least they might be able to.
You are the only one in the whole of the world that can make this.
And I can also make it an infertility totem.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So does Krogor go back to his family?
Well, no. What's his face is making the totem. It takes a whole day to make the totem, so
yeah.
Tomorrow he'll have to do like a day-long ritual of consecration. Yeah.
Yep. I want to call Elijah and Zephyr over to have a chat at some point during the night.
Yeah. Back in the tavern.
What are we doing with this guy as the guy leaves, right? What deal did you make?
Well, first off, 50 of that silver's mine.
No, 50 of the silver's mine now.
I bought us some information, right? Apparently,
I believe the money should be split equally, but you know,
him and his father were digging in Kapan, which is that city with the tower that we saw, you know, by the lake.
Okay.
And apparently, they uncovered like a straight wall underneath the ground, going far in all directions, and they mined the whole thing out. And all they could find was a single entrance that apparently led to an underground chamber filled with strange symbols.
Perfect. All right. They're going to take us there, right?
No, they're not going to take us there, but it's in the ownership of a merchant named Ruby.
You got
in her basement.
You got to fix the deal and get him to take us there and let us in. This is going to take me a whole day to do. I'm going to have to be up all night.
Just do it. We can go there ourselves. We can reason with Ruby. We'll get in there. We'll see the thing. It'll be fine. We don't need to take this poor dwarf away from his smelting or whatever.
A whole day to make a You've been complaining about us spending a day helping our people harvest the crops. You're making a fertility totem so this guy can get his rocks off better?
That's not what it's for, Zephyr.
That's not really what I wanted to do, no. If this guy takes us
I'm
and
just
gets
pointing
us
out the
in,
hypocrisy of Cedric. I have a few bones to pick with you.
Children
Zephyr,
are worth it.
I'm sorry. Cedric, if you're going to be like that, you can keep the 50 silver if it means that much to you. I didn't know that your time was so precious. Where it's all in service of a larger goal here.
Right, and I feel like the money that we make from it should, you know, benefit the whole group and not just...
Yeah, but it's my money.
Listen, I'm already bankrolling this organization.
Yeah, but it's our
money is
our time. He's making executive decisions about our time. Now we have to sit here for a whole day.
I didn't make this decision. He wanted to do this.
I just feel like you could have
You made this decision. You said I'll make you fertility totem, and then you.
I feel like you could have run this decision past, you know, the higher ups.
Yeah, we should have ran it up by management, Riven, before we just did it.
Right, but you know, I'm a senior warden. I have the authority to make decisions that encompass up to 24 hours worth of additional time. You know that that's in the code, Zephyr.
Listen,
so that's fine.
We need to review those codes, okay? Because sometimes you say things and I'm not sure if that's in the code.
The code's the code.
The only way I'm making this totem...
give me those codes sometime. I haven't been able to look at those at all.
The only way I'm making this totem is if you get the guy to take us to Kapan and do an introduction. Otherwise,
I mean, if you don't make the totem, then if you don't care, fine. We already have the information. If that's what you want to be like, you know, if that's the great hero.
You should uphold your bargain.
Like,
I just want you to think about this.
Then?
This is
I just wanted to think about it, but
it's more.
I'm trying to point out that he complained that we were trying to harvest the crops to keep our people alive, and he's like, "I'll make you a fertility totem."
This is not a deal that I made. This is a deal that Riven thrust upon me and kicked me and told me to take.
It was your idea.
This is not what.
It was your idea. You suggested making the totem. To
My
be honest,
suggestion was selling the totem for 50 to 100 gold, not making it for free.
50 to 100 gold.
Easily, yeah.
There's probably not 50 or 100 gold in this entire bar.
Frog, there's probably someone out there who wants a kid, and the word would get around, and we would be able to sell it. A day's work is easily worth 50 gold.
In my
You want to spend the
entire
rest of
life,
your
Cedric.
time making fertility? Don't we have a mission?
Are you guys stupid? It would be one day for 50 gold. I'd stand up. Fuck you. And I
Is he
walk
paying
away.
50 gold?
You guys
Is that what he's offered?
You guys are
He
fucking
hasn't got 50
lunatics.
gold. He hasn't got 50 gold. He's a poor
Wait, how much
dwarf.
is he offering? I'm sure.
He
if,
gave
but,
3
like,
gold. He gave 3 gold, and I gave him 5 gold. I thought that would be enough.
It cost us a gold a day to stay at the port.
We gotta move to the official business. We got it for free.
All right.
I'm sorry.
You get to do it for free.
I wanted to give Cedric some
You're
shit. I'm
so
sorry.
stupid.
I just wanted to give Cedric some shit. I'm sorry.
No, we're good.
Maybe Elijah, we could record it as a charitable donation and write it off our tax bill. What do we think about that?
That
you go.
sounds, and Elijah's immediately in the mode. That sounds tricky. I mean, the way that I always want to think about it is, if there's ever an orc sent by the Empire in front of your door, going over your taxes, are you going to be able to explain that to him? The answer in this case, I
This
believe,
number is bigger.
The answer in this case, I believe, is no. I mean, if we were trying to stay on the down low, right, and like charitable donations is the type of thing that attracts the most people. I just try to stay away from stuff like that, you know, try to keep it above board and just within the confines of keeping it right. Yeah.
No bad ideas, you know?
Yeah,
No
for
bad
sure,
ideas.
for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think we've all learnt a lesson. Cedric, come and sit back down. I
Cedric's
didn't mean
gone.
to upset you.
He's gone. He went upstairs.
I said that as you were walking away then, I guess.
You gotta work on his totem.
I will now, knowing that it was Riven, because I totally zoned out during that time, who secured that deal. I'll give Riven shit. Like, Riven, we're like, days are precious. We don't have time to be sitting around making fertility totems.
What was your plan to find out where we were going next?
I was talking to the townspeople. I was asking
I
them
overheard
about
what you were talking about. You know, you were talking to them about splitting stones in half. I mean, I'm sure that's real interesting if you like breaking rocks, but...
Yeah, what am I going to go, hey guys, what's up? Have you guys heard of any like crazy local rumors about
Right, so you want to spend the next day
legendary-
here building rapport with them and getting to know the truth.
I actually asked them, Neil, did I get any information from my conversation?
I think the conversation, even though you killed your charisma check and they wanted to talk to you, just got into this weird local hobby of competitive making things in small, like in small forms, and then you went to get a drink and ran into the situation.
I'm sorry, I fucking sat at the one table with like Mr. Charcoal Evangelist who wanted to tell me the 16 different ways that you can make charcoal in your underwear, and that I didn't get some good intel. But that doesn't mean I fucking, was wasting my time.
I'm not you know, you're coming at me, Zephyr, and
I am coming at you
you
right
said
now.
when we were on the boat to Summit that we had to, act on our own sort of like initiative, you know?
Yeah, and you did.
Yeah,
and
but he obviously meant...
Elijah.
No, I appreciate...
Respect, stay out of this, buddy.
Here's the thing. Absolutely. You acted on your own initiative, but you gotta be ready to defend that initiative.
I'm defending it right now. We know where we're going. It's the cost of one day, and at the same time, Cedric's going to help these poor people.
Okay.
You know, it's doing a good deed. It got us the information we wanted, and we made 3 gold.
Okay, I'm convinced. All right, well done.
Oh, well, thanks very much. Okay, great. I give Elijah a wink.
I actually also think it's a good idea.
Well, we can kill the evening here, which it sounds like we're doing extremely well. A little bit more frivolity, and then soon the toll of the day begins to weigh.
Sorry, I just have one more thing I need to do. I go over to the people that Zephyr was talking to, one of them, and I say, I've got a little proposition for you, friend. Now, I'm going to tell you 2 statements, and I want you to tell me where this is wrong, okay? If I have a rock, no matter the size of the rock, theoretically I can break it into 2, right?
Aye.
And any rock, no matter the size, has some amount of mass.
Aye.
So if I can break any rock into 2, and then those 2 rocks into 2 more, and I can keep breaking them into smaller and smaller pieces of rock.
Aye.
And that means there's infinite number of rocks, and all of those rocks have some mass. That means I can turn 1 rock, no matter the size, into infinite mass.
No.
Why not?
Because it keeps getting cut in half. If this weighs 1 pound, you break it into 2, then it's 2 half pounds. And if you break it into 2, then it's 4 quarter pounds. And you just keep going all the way down.
Yeah, and eventually it becomes infinite pieces that all have some weight.
No. That's just 1 over infinity weight.
He's got you there,
That's
Raven.
way too smart for you.
Maybe you're right. I walk away. Okay, fine. We can get to bed.
Foreigners, Jesus. I think they'd teach him something over there. Yeah, the day ends. The next day comes along. The storm has not fully dissipated. It's still raining, but like the thunder has fallen away. The town is a little quiet. People like hurry from one covered building to another to stay out of the rain because, there's no indoor plumbing, so there's no indoor showers. So people don't carry around a lot of towels. You might have a few terry cloth things, but like, they don't have the abundance of towels. So if you get wet, you're just kind of gross and wet all day. So yeah, people try and stay out of the rain as much as possible. You guys have a day to kill here. While he makes
during this day,
totem.
I'm gonna try and go and speak to the dwarf and ask him if he'll take us to Ruby's.
Right.
I don't demand it.
Yeah,
but I ask him.
Well, he's no longer in the tavern, but you've got a day to find him. Roll me a d20.
Well,
he's gonna come back.
Cedric's got to go to his house, right? Anyway, so
that's true. He does have to come back to get the totem. He'll definitely be back tonight. That's true.
So I'll take him aside and say, so I smooth things over with Cedric. I think it's fine, but is there any chance that you or maybe your dad could accompany us to Kapan and sort of take us to this ruby?
Oh, my father's long gone.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, we live a long time, but not forever. Death comes for us all eventually. Let's see. Tomorrow, he thinks to himself, if the weather holds, I can take you to Kapan. I'm retired now.
Thanks so much, Krogan.
My son and daughter do the best to take care of me, and I suppose I could take a trip to Kapan with you.
It'll certainly please the cleric, and a happy cleric gets happy results.
Now,
good lad.
Have you ever used one of these fertility totems yourself?
I'm afraid not. I know his magic's powerful, but it wouldn't really help me.
I'm beginning to get a little cold feet here. It's a lot of money, and do they really work? Truly.
I reassure him. Yeah. My friend, he's really touched by Martha.
Well, maybe if more people were touched by Martha, this world would be a better place.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably correct.
Well, if the weather holds, he'll take you tomorrow.
Okay. Thanks, Krogan.
Since you just said this, I need you to roll me a d6 plus a d8 plus 2.
Rained yesterday, so less likely to rain today.
Right. I'm sorry.
Not too low.
The rain will continue for another day. So you guys are just kind of stuck here because the weather's bad.
Fine.
We're just
gonna make the totem anyways.
Yeah, you make the totem. You hand it to the guy. He's going to deliver your instructions.
Well, hold on. I got to meet his kid and the girl.
Yeah, I didn't know how much you wanted to do that. You can absolutely meet the granddaughter.
Can you just tell me a little bit about him? Because I need to know if I'm going to make this a fertility totem or an infertility totem. It's going to depend on how good of a family they are. Neil.
Don't do that, bro.
You want to stand in judgment of them and see if they're worthy of this blessing and then lie them one way or the other.
I'm judge, jury, and executioner. I choose who has children.
My God. Okay, I'm going to roll their morality on a scale of 1 to 20, how good of people they are. Actually, I'm going to roll a 2d10. That seems like a better roll.
Maybe there's a reason Martha's not giving him a kid, And if I'm gonna step in and play God, I gotta do that.
I guess that is a good point.
Give me. We're just doing a quick judgment check of their character. Yeah. So give me a wisdom check.
5 minute.
Yeah.
5 minute judgment to determine whether their family line deserves to die out.
That's the medieval age. This is exactly how things happened. You know what? They seem like good, honest, hardworking folks who really are trying to, have a kid and just they don't really have we're gonna make the world a better place, but they do seem to be honest and polite and
Is Cedric open about this decision, or do you keep it to yourself that you could potentially do the opposite?
I tell not a soul.
Yeah, okay. So I think
I'll never tell anyone.
Yeah. Their morality is a 15 on a scale of 2 to 20 with an average of 11.
Okay. Yeah, I'm making him a real totem then.
All right.
When the totem is made and I go to hand it off, I tell the lady to sit on a chair and I need to cast a spell on her to seal the deal. And I'm going to, just for kind of thematics and to let, I'm going to cast Bless on her. So the next time that they go and try to have a kid, they have an extra +1 with their new fertility totem.
What I mean.
Nice.
And you have to worship this every day. And you do have to say, thank you, Cedric, at the end of the worship. So
absolutely.
If you don't, it will stop working.
Done. Sold. Every day out there, someone's going to be praising and praying to Martha and to Cedric as well.
Good.
Marvelous.
And if you want the totem to keep working, I believe that you should be able to keep praising it while you're pregnant. And then if you wanted to try again in the future, it should still, work.
Okay.
It'd work indefinitely.
Could they potentially pass it around to another family or not?
I think they could.
They could. Okay. As long as it was being worshipped, they could potentially move from household to household. Did you keep that information to yourself? Okay.
There's nothing in the description about saying it has to be made specifically for one person. So yeah, it could probably be passed around.
The place
This
be
could
overrun with dwarves in 100 years if we let that information out.
Well,
this could pass for generation to generation from girl to girl of this family. So yeah.
Yeah.
Or from guy to guy. I mean, the guy kind of needs to praise it too. It's not always the women's fault.
that's true.
I suppose back in the day as well, having a big family is probably quite helpful, right? In terms of just your own security financially and also strength related. So actually it's quite a big boon for this family to have this if they can pass it through their life. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
They call me Cedric the Savior.
Elijah, will you roll me d6 plus d8 plus 2, please?
D6 plus D8 plus 2.
It's for the weather.
Oh, a nice clear day on December 18th, Thursday. Finally, this guy will take you up to Kapan. And why don't we take a short break here? And we'll come back on the other side with some more Floating Fortress.
All right.
Let's do it.
So, we're going to head off on this next nice, bright, clear day and head to Kapan. And it's just going to be a lovely little walk. You got your dwarf in tow who's going to try and help you get in with Ruby, the owner of this basement that has these ancient carvings on it. So yeah, it's just going to be a normal day walking across the fields alongside the river. You got some sun, you got a little wind. The mountains block most of the wind and just kind of give you this nice sort of a view like you're in a fishbowl, kind of looking up at these great peaks all over around you. Is there anything you want from the dwarf before you arrive in Kapan? Any info, any conversation?
I think we just
Is there anything we should bring on our journey besides rations?
Oh, it's a full town over in Kapan. It's bigger than Zubai by far. So anything you need, you can buy.
All right.
Great.
Well, we're gonna bring our rowboat. I mean, we're just gonna row up.
Oh, are we? No, we're walking, I think.
It's harder to row up a river than it is to walk alongside it. Yeah. Because you got to go against the flow.
I inquire as to what kind of person Ruby is.
I don't know her personally terribly well. We all come from the same clan once upon a time, but since we've gotten here, some of the older ways have fallen apart. We've integrated well with the humans, so our family's distant related, but we haven't had a chance to meet a merchant. Maybe one of the larger merchants in town.
If you found it, how did she end up owning it?
No. My grandfather was one of the miners employed in the excavation of the place. Eventually passed into her hands, but I'm not sure how, who it is. I don't know the history of when her family bought it. They weren't there initially, I don't believe.
I understand.
But I live in Zubai.
Do you think she's likely to let us?
Every now and then we get strangers coming through asking questions. If you don't bother her and you make it an easy decision for her, I bet she would acquiesce. Maybe if that cleric of yours gave over some of that hard-earned money he made and promised to be nice. Then again, she might use it for storage these days. Storage of bars, yeah. So... You may have luck buying your way in. I think that's what the spellcasters who have come through these parts have done in the past.
I understand. All right, well, thanks. Yeah. How long's the walk, by the way? We got to camp overnight, or are we going to make it there before nightfall?
Well, I'm huffing and puffing to keep up with you, but we should make it before nightfall.
If you need carried, I can help you.
I'm capable of ambulatoring myself, thank you very much. Yeah. Well, your walk is interrupted. There is a sudden flash of light. The area around you becomes foggy for just a moment, and the fog quickly boils off and evaporates. And you find yourself still on the same path, but surrounded by, 8 people, 10 people or so. Humans, mostly. A couple of dwarves. They have shovels, picks, some hammers, some knives, and one person that you all recognize right here.
Oh, shit.
It's the Armator. It's Cassia from Aknara.
What?
And as the begins to wash all over you, these figures sort of turn in your direction. They raise their weapons. Cassia draws a silvered knife from her side. And we should roll initiative immediately.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? I had a feeling.
Illusion.
I had a thought.
We rolled d20s, right?
Yep.
At some point, like earlier this episode, I was like, it'd be kind of funny if the Armator was like evil or out to get us or turned on us or something. How did this actually happen? What the fuck is going on?
Oh my god, okay. We gave her all the info, by the way.
Yeah.
Dude!
Holy shit.
Maybe she's like trying to keep us from finding the truth.
Elijah, will you roll me a
D20? The Armator position has been there to stop people this whole time.
Yeah, what do we know about
you did.
the Armator's combat capabilities?
She's an old woman.
Is she a spellcaster or anything?
I didn't click my
She's not a
character,
spellcaster. Well, we don't know that she would be a spellcaster.
Let's see.
Oh, you don't think it's her?
You said the whole time she wasn't a spellcaster, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
She claimed she wasn't.
Claimed.
Is it obvious? Is it obvious the Armator is the person in charge?
Nope. There's flash of light and some mist around you, and then there's just these people surrounding you, and they all draw weapons, and there's no communication, there's no sign of anything. Just this.
Do I have to wait till my turn to speak?
Yeah. Well, hold on. Let me just make sure I got answers to everyone's questions. Perfect. You know of no combat abilities for the Armator whatsoever, but she is a half-elf. She had elven family. It is in the elven tradition to teach your children how to wield weapons, so she may have some, maybe 100 years ago she was a badass warrior, but you don't know of it. We've all rolled initiative. It's time to roll It's time for the combat. Okay. First up is this dwarf right over here. Well, this random no-name dwarf who's got a small wood axe in one hand, like a little hatchet. And the wood dwarf charges, not quite far enough to properly charge, right in towards Riven. Takes their little hand axe and gives a "Ah!" and a slash towards Riven's body with a 5 to hit. Completely missing. Elijah. This guy right here is your friend. I'm sorry to interrupt. This is your companion.
Got it.
We
Where's the
get a marker on
Armator?
him.
The Armator is this old woman over here that I've marked in orange.
Is she attacking us?
She has drawn a small knife from her waistband, but her initiative has not come up yet.
Okay, I want to cast Earth Spell number 2 next to her, Maximilian's fisting gadget. And this is soil,
Maximilian's
yeah.
fisting gadget is a higher level spell, technically.
Okay.
I thought it would be
And,
lower level.
A hand emerges from the soil trying to grab her.
Excellent. She passes her saving throw. So it will exist for a number of rounds, 3 rounds plus 1 round per level, and every round it'll get a chance to grab, right?
That sounds right, yeah.
Okay.
Is this on my turn, like at the start of my turn every turn?
Yes.
Okay.
If the victim is, if it's successful, it sinks back into the ground. Yeah, so it emerges, tries to grab her ankle. She passes her save, and the hand draws back into the ground. And every round, it has a 5% chance per level of the caster to reappear and grab at her again. So it's not.
I guess it only has the range of like a normal human arm, so she just has to move away, and I've just sunk 6 MP into the ground.
No, it will follow her.
Follows her.
Wherever she goes, it'll reappear beneath her.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. Yeah. That's good.
Okay. Do you want to move, Elijah?
Let's see. Just getting an idea of the situation here. I think our position is not bad here. I think we should maybe stick together.
Yeah, I think like maybe back to back is the way to
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna hold my position.
Our next axe-wielding dwarf comes running in straight towards Elijah. Small hand axe in hand, 8 to hit, wild miss. This doesn't look like a trained warrior. This person over here, they have a pitchfork. That's not really a great weapon of war, and they come right up to Cedric, a fully armored cleric with, breastplate and shield and a mace, and a suicidal attempt to smash him with the pitchfork. A 16, I think, will barely make it through your armor. And skewer you AC. For 6 points of damage. It's the best pitchfork blow ever.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Next person comes right up to Zephyr. Same story with the pitchfork, only it's a 7 to hit, so it's a miss. And over here, in towards Elijah with a pitchfork, which is a natural 19.
Whew.
You have 14 AC. It hits, and it clears by 5. It's a critical hit. You will take
show me
10 damage from the pitchfork as it guts you. And Elijah, it's a two-handed weapon. It's size large. You need to pass a saving throw versus death as we go to the critical table.
Great table. Classic.
Oh no.
Neil chose violence. What the fuck?
Is this the right one?
Roll well.
Oh, no. All right. I'm going to let you decide where it hits
1.
you. Give me a D10 for the location.
That doesn't sound like a decision to me.
Perfect. It hits you right in the abdomen, just as we were hoping. And then it is a 2d6 severity. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Dice that fall on the floor don't count. Ooh.
Sometimes they count when they're the numbers I want.
9. Armor damaged. Abdomen injured. Minor bleeding, half move, -2 to attacks. If no armor, Elijah, you're not wearing armor.
Me.
Victim at 0 hit points. Major bleeding.
What the fuck?
You don't die, but it's such a critical blow to your gut. You know, the pitchfork goes in, it goes right through those robes, and you just like your head rolls back, you pass out and hit the ground unconscious.
This pest just deal 18 damage to me in one turn.
Yeah, you got to pass those death saves, man. You got to pass those death saves.
Whatever, man.
I'm so sorry.
He just fucked you up.
The dwarf over
Jesus.
here, this one with a small hammer, comes up behind Cedric. 13 plus 2 is 15 from back attack, and no shield, I do believe, is going to be a hit for 2 points of damage. And Zephyr. Oh, actually, Cedric. There we go. Sorry. Cedric,
okay.
It's your turn.
I swing at the one in front of me. I mean, I'll move a little bit to not give them both back attack, right? I'll turn my body.
Well, you can attack first,
like
and then
this, and then I'll attack. So here you go. Natural.
Oh, beautiful.
That's
Not
got
that
to be
matters.
his maker.
Yeah. Oh,
8.
absolutely. The person, you smash him with the mace, the head caves in, and they vanish in a puff of smoke. Zephyr.
It's a phantom. I was going to try and do a disbelieve. Is that a thing I can do?
You can take
Have
the
we
turn
tried that
to
before in these?
disbelieve if you would like. You got to pass a saving throw
do
versus
that.
spell, so it's not going to work very well at low levels, but it might. It takes a whole turn.
So what's my probability of passing that? Spell. So I would have to roll a 15 or higher.
Yeah, that's a 6 out of 20 chance, 30%.
And would that just disappear the one person I'm disbelieving?
If
well,
it's all if
I
they're
swing.
all illusions, it would work against all of them.
This is me thinking. I think Zephyr would be like, Casey, what's happening? And then I would swing, like in character. I'd yell, Casey, what are you doing? We're allies. And then I attack the guy in front of me. Regular attack.
The unarmored
Skadoosh, critical
pitchfork,
miss.
Wild miss. Whoosh. This other
Can
pitchfork. Oh yeah, go ahead, move.
I'm gonna reposition. You know what? I'm gonna reposition like this. My back to the wall.
Nice. Okay. The next pitchfork wielder comes up towards Cedric. 9 to hit is a wild miss, and Cassia takes her turn. She comes over to your dwarven follower friend who's with you and equally surprised by this nonsense, actually stunned this round. She wildly misses with her little small knife. And this person will come up to you. Maybe you didn't notice them, but they're coming from your side with the high ground.
Oh, shit, I didn't.
The pitchfork comes down, but it's an 8 plus 1 for high ground, 1 for flanking is a 10. You deflect it easily. The last dwarf
I didn't see them.
comes over. 9 to hit, wild miss, Riven.
Finally. Damn. So there's only one in combat with me?
Just this one.
Yeah.
Okay. I turn my back to this guy. Yeah, he can take his attack of opportunity.
Perfect.
That's what I'm saying.
That was a cocked roll. 13 to hit.
Yeah, hit.
That'll hit you for, my D4 says 2.
All right, just 32 left to go, Neil.
Oh, fuck, I forgot to do my hymns.
You'll get there eventually.
I did too. Yeah.
I'm going to try casting Melf's Acid Arrow at Cassia here.
Excellent.
Which, I hate the spell because there's a chance it'll just miss.
Yeah.
It does. It's going to do 2d4 damage if it hits, and then 2d4 damage the round after. I get to attack as if a fighter of my level. So I definitely got a +2.
Yep.
Can I actually come round for a back attack on this? I don't mind giving this other guy an attack of opportunity here if you want.
Refresh my memory. Since we're
Yes.
rolling initiative and then casting spells, can you move and cast? Is that what we've been doing?
I think that's what we've been
Okay,
doing.
then
Yeah.
let's
That's
do
what
it.
we've been doing, yeah.
Then yes, you should
Yeah.
be able to, at some point you're going to take an attack of opportunity to get there though, right?
Yeah, give me another one.
Yeah. Which way, who is it? I need to know.
This guy.
Perfect. All right, you go this way, up and behind. A 5 is a miss, and I think Cassia
Sure.
will get one at you as well, which is a 2.
Would have been better to go the other way.
There you go.
So it's back attack, Melf's Acid Arrow. I'm just going to roll it as if it's a short sword.
Yeah.
I'm adding in the +2.
Should be a d20 plus 4 total.
Yeah.
The acid arrow will miss.
6 MP.
The next dwarf
Risky.
with the hammer in hand is going to come over to this guy and try and smash him in the head. A 15 will do. And 4 points of damage versus the 7 HP dwarf will leave him wounded, but not dead. Excellent. Elijah, you are unconscious and bleeding out. You are now at -1 hit points. I'm so sorry.
Hand?
Your hand has a 15% chance because you're level 3, right?
Yep.
Give me a D100, 15 or lower. Absolutely not. Almost the worst thing you could have done. The next little dwarf will come right up to Shepherd with a 17 to hit. That'll do it for 1 point of damage against Shepherd.
Ow.
The next pitchforker
Seriously?
has you backed into this corner. 5 is no good. This one over here comes up to your friendly dwarf. Natural 1 is no good.
Oh.
This peasant over here will try to attack Cedric with a hammer. Natural 20 will succeed, but I don't think it'll clear by 5. It's just a regular hit for 2 points of damage against Cedric.
All right. Down to 3.
And our friendly dwarf, our friendly leader dwarf is going to withdraw. He's going to go, what the hell is this? By all the gods, high and low, summer and winter, what's happening? And he'll back off, trying to get the hell out of here, leaving Cedric.
I'm going to drink a healing potion.
Ah.
Have one on my character sheet.
2d4 HP.
So I will
2d4 plus 2.
drink that. Is it 2d4 plus something?
2d4 plus 2. Minimum of 4 HP.
Take 7.
Ooh, there you go. That'll keep you
Very
alive.
nice.
Zephyr.
And I'm going to do my hymn.
Yes.
My guarding hymn on myself, which will get me 2 temporary HP, and it restores each round. So I'm technically at 12.
Okay. Well, you're technically at 10, but you can absorb 2, right?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Shepherd.
And then it comes back each round.
Zephyr.
I'm gonna. Do I have to chant at the start or end of my turn?
Start.
I'm gonna start chanting the chant of peace, which gives all creatures within the cleric's aura -1 to hit.
Excellent.
Aura is basically anyone who's adjacent to me, right?
At this point, I think it's 10 feet around you. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Am I engaged with this guy to the bottom of me? Because, like, I feel like I could be able to slip through here, and this guy wouldn't get an opportunity
He's got
attack.
this long pitchfork is the problem. Maybe if he had, like, a hammer, I would be on your side, but with the reach of the pitchfork, he's got you.
All right, I'm still going to do that. I'm going to withdraw. Well, not withdraw, but I'm going to step this
there.
way.
Absolutely.
To get a better position
That's a
on these
wild
guys.
miss.
Fuck, there's no way to get through this without getting another attack, is there?
I don't know. I'm not sure what you're trying to do.
I'm just like, I wanted to get to this position here.
Yeah.
To, I guess, just have them in front of me. And then I'm going to make an attack.
Roll to hit.
Yeah!
Oh, it's a beautiful
Fucking
blow.
18.
Roll me some damage.
For damage, 3 damage.
That is that is enough to drop the peasant, who also completely disappears.
They're not real, I yell. They're phantoms or summons or beasts or something.
This guy over here.
Do I see Elijah's blood on the ground?
Yes, you see Elijah is unconscious and bleeding, and the pool of blood beneath his robes is ever expanding. This person will stab at Cedric with an 11. Cassia will turn towards Riven.
Get his ass.
Dagger up this small little rise and come after you, dagger in hand, staring you in the face. 5 to hit. No good.
No.
This pitchforking person will just hop down off of this cliff, take a stab at you in the process. 4 is no good. Dwarf over on Cedric brings the hammer into your shield on a 7, no good. Riven.
Is it my turn to try and disbelieve?
If you would like, but it's a full round action.
And it's
so
save
crazy.
versus spell or a wisdom save?
Save versus spell.
Okay, in that case...
Is that what you're going to do?
I'm going to cast Melf. No, I'm going to cast Melf on the...
Yes, Nick, you're going to hit this one. You got your bad roll out of the way.
Yeah. Neil, I assume if I try and rotate behind her, she'll rotate to face me. Yeah, so, okay.
Just,
so I make it a +2.
+2 to hit.
Surely this time?
There you go.
Yes.
The acid
that-
washes over her. Roll me 2d4.
Sorry.
The twist is she's real.
6.
Good.
The
she's
acid
not carrying any
begins
magic
to
items.
burn and melt her face, and she vanishes poof, and is gone from view.
Oh.
Next up is this dwarf. Stumbles right towards Cedric, who is in a bad spot. He's like actually getting surrounded by all these people. Hits him from behind where his shield don't count, but a 7 is still a miss into the body armor. Elijah bleeds again.
Wait. Does his hand... Yeah.
His hand is no longer next to... I mean, Casey is not here, so if it reappears next to her, it's wherever she is, but she's not here, so...
Elijah, what health you on?
-2.
Can you imagine if it reappears on the actual
Should be like
person?
-2.
I lied. No, you're at 0. Oh, no. It did say
No, he
major
had
bleeding.
bleeding.
It said, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it did.
-2.
That's one around major bleeding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does temporary HP from guarding him eliminate bleed?
I think we said no.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Neil said it would give you 2 temporary HP against if somebody tried to attack you while you were down.
Yeah.
Right.
kill
This
you.
matters for action economy.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely. Dwarf in front of you with the hammer is a 3 Zephyr. These creatures that are here seem to... You're well armored. You're throwing magic. Normal people would be making morale checks and running away. These people do not care. They'll stab at what's his name? Cedric with a 16 from behind, which will hit.
To hit.
For 3 points of damage. Good thing you drank that healing potion.
So I'll be at 9 then.
Oh, right, because 2 come off. Yes.
Yep.
From in front, a 14 with a hammer will miss you. Your friend backs up to ever higher ground and cheers you on from afar. Cedric.
I keep my chant going, so my HP goes back up.
Nice.
Or my effective HP goes back up to 11. And I'm going to attack the one in front of me. For a miss.
Zephyr. Only 2 left around you. Elijah nearby, slowly dying.
It's alright for now.
What is a turn again?
10 rounds.
10 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. If anyone's going to do the healing, it would be Cedric.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just thinking if is it an action to stabilize? Could I do that while I'm being attacked?
Not while you're being attacked.
Not with minor bleeding either.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Fuck. I'm thinking about do I want to just keep attacking these guys, or do I want to try to rush over to get back to back with Cedric and then do a chant of peace to get minus a bunch of points? Is that worth taking 2 attacks to get to this position?
Good question.
I think it is.
Okay.
I'm going to break this way. I'm going to take the 2 opportunity attacks.
A 1 and a 17. The 17
They're at
will
-1.
hit you. It becomes a 16.
I'm doing the chant of peace.
Your AC is 15. It will still hit you. The pitchfork gets you for
Why is his AC 15?
1 point. Because that's what his little token says.
It says 18
Mine
for
says
me.
18.
Oh. No, then you're fine.
You might need to refresh.
Yeah, no, you're good, dude.
Yeah.
It completely misses you.
Sweet. I get to here, and I say, Cedric, I won't leave you. And now I have an aura, and I think you said it was 10 foot, so now it's affecting this area.
Yes.
Yeah, does my guarding him also do that? Because it says aura on the range.
Yeah, your aura is based on your level and your wisdom. It's the radius, I think, is half your wisdom times level.
Yeah, I'm just confused.
Ooh.
It says range is within my aura.
Yeah.
But it says target creature gains 2 HP. So I'm guessing
Right, so you could...
the range is just within my 10 feet.
Yeah.
And then I can pick a creature.
Yes. Yes.
Oh shit! If it's half your wisdom times level or willpower, that means mine goes out to 18 feet. Just like this.
Okay, let me just give you 18-foot little radius. Boop, boop. There you are.
Everyone inside here gets -1 to attack. Can I still make an attack this round?
Yes.
I haven't done anything. All right, I attack. Hiya! And I yell and I say, "Begone, foul magic creatures!" 16 to the one below me.
Smash the creature. Roll me damage.
I give you the meagerest damage roll in human
That's okay.
history
They rolled
with a
1
7.
for the HP. They too disappear in a puff of smoke. The person
Perfect.
above you will try to crush you, Zephyr. With a -1, they get down to 10. This guy over here will come towards Riven with a 14 to hit with his pitchfork. That will hit you for 1 point of damage. And the dwarf near Cedric will smash him with the hammer. A 9 to hit is a miss, leaving us with Riven.
How many... If I throw my bullets instead of slinging them, can I get 2 or 3 attacks around with that?
Their damage will go down to like 1.
Yeah.
But you could throw 2 in a round.
Is there any penalties for being at close range?
You ever try to throw a penny at a guy who's trying to punch you?
Yeah, I think it provides attack
I'm gonna be honest. I don't
opportunity.
think a bullet should do any damage.
I mean, it's
soon as they
it's
take
not like
damage,
a gun bullet.
they-
It's just a small metal ball. Yeah, it's like throwing a tiny rock.
Have any of them survived any attacks yet, or do they all disappear after any damage?
I will let you make that determination on your own.
Well, I was asking my party.
Oh, sorry.
None of them have survived. I don't
None of them
think
survived,
they're
yeah.
They
real
have.
enough to survive.
Yeah, they haven't survived, right?
No,
So
yeah, you would just assume 1 HP.
the bullet strategy is a good one.
All right, you can take the attack
Magic
Yeah,
missile.
all right.
of opportunity. To,
Yeah, I'm gonna try and throw a bullet at this guy. Yeah, he can take his attack.
10
opportunity.
is a hit against you, I think,
Yeah.
for 4 points of damage.
Okay.
What chain are you doing, Zephyr? Is it the 1 to AC or is it -1 to attack?
-1 to attack.
Okay. Just as a level 3 sorcerer, I don't get any base attack bonus, do I?
I think we would have
The answer is
upgraded
no.
that, but no.
11.
11's a hit. Yeah. You do
What
1
does it-
point of damage against this creature.
Yeah.
They does not disappear. It smashes them in the face, leaves a nasty bruise. Maybe cracks a little bit of brow.
Okay.
You can throw your
not
second
gonna
for
waste
free. They're
another
not
bullet.
going to get an
No, fuck
opportunity
it.
attack.
Oh, fine.
You just pick it up.
Yeah,
again,
they only get 1 per round. Yeah, it's a miss. Whoosh. All right. Dwarf behind Cedric with a 6 + 2 for back attack, -1 for chant is a miss, and Elijah bleeds again. -3.
What do you want,
Slowly
Elijah?
dying.
3?
Yeah,
-3. That's not
I'm
Any
so
chance
sorry,
my hand's gonna
Elijah.
do anything, or?
No, she's
gone.
gone. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Zephyr, it's a miss against you. Cedric, it's a 19 becomes an 18 from this person in front of you, which is not a crit, but it's just a little D4 hammer blow into your side for 4 points of damage, reduced by 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
9, 8, 7. So I'm at 7.
Yeah, this dwarf who has been following with you, the battle's changing. His courage is growing. He's going to come up from behind this person with the pitchfork and just try to like bear hug him and grab him. It's an 11 to hit, and an opposed strength check will drag this person away from Riven and hold his arm so he can no longer make an attack. Cedric.
Back effective HP up to 9. Here's my mace attack. It's a 19, so it's a crit
Beautiful blow.
for 11.
Don't even have to roll for HP. Puff of smoke, person
Bye-bye.
is gone.
Another dwarf goes down.
Zephyr.
Cedric, you need to help
Well, busy here.
Elijah. Can I interpose and swap with him?
I don't think in this
get him into a better
situation.
position.
No, it's a chaotic mess. Your backs are
I take
towards
a
each other. Yeah.
God damn it. I take a swing at this guy.
Pitchfork
to my
wielder.
north.
Yeah.
Yeah. And oops, I keep closing my character sheet, which I just should stop doing. 4.
All right, he will return the pitchfork stab. An 11 becomes a 10, is a miss. This one over here is struggling against the dwarf, tries to break free. And does. With his action this round, he wrests the dwarf's arms off of him and will turn to face the dwarf, wielding the pitchfork menacingly. This guy over here will smash at Cedric with a 3, becomes a 2, and Riven takes a turn.
Okay, I was going to go and try and help Cedric, but I'm not going to leave the dwarf to die here, so I attack this guy from behind with my short sword, giving me a +2 for a 12.
Blade goes in.
And 4 damage.
Blade comes out, and the person also vanishes with smoke. Whoosh.
Can't explain that.
Nope.
You can't explain that.
Nope.
I come
The
here.
battle's winding down. There's still enemies. They're still lethal. If they critical you and roll high, things can always go bad. This dwarf with their little hammer tries to hit Cedric. A 16 becomes a 15 because of the aura and misses. Elijah bleeds a point. And the next dwarf will try and kill Zephyr with a 6 is a miss. This guy will throw himself at this dwarf nearby. A 9 is now a miss. Cedric takes a turn.
I do what I have to, and I attack the one in front of me.
Yeah.
10 -1
Is a 9. Is a miss. Zephyr.
I turn my head to Elijah and I say, "Save Elijah! He's
It
dying."
just doesn't make sense to heal in combat.
He's dying. But like I'm just listen. I'm yelling to save Elijah. So if
we
he
have like
dies,
14 turns
know.
until I'm dead.
Yeah,
No.
we got a while.
Until
we
you-
got
you've
like
got
7
seven
Negative
turns.
10 is death.
I thought it was
6.
until you're. Oh, -10.
-10.
Yeah.
Negative 10,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was like negative, like 5. Okay, never mind. Fuck Elijah! As I swing, 15 to hit.
Your warblade hits
Vonk,
flesh
3 damage.
against
this one.
7 HP. Not quite. 7! Yeah, some peasants are built stronger than others. The pitchfork wielder will stab at you with a 5, modified 5, and the dwarf will try and hit Cedric with a modified 2, and Riven will take a turn.
I wonder if
Attacking
your
this
like
guy
charm
from
person would have
behind.
done something interesting.
Yeah, I was going to cast Scare on them all, but then I thought once I realised they were phantoms, I thought it'd be a waste of...
I think they're real people, just transported, and their minds are corrupted. I don't know.
Are they bleeding when they get hit, Neil, or are they just like vanishing?
Yeah, they're bleeding when they're hit. And you
they might
watched
just be
Casia's
peasants.
face like melt from the acid before you before she vanished.
Oh shit, I hope it's not the real Casia. 16.
Hit.
-1.
Still a hit.
4 damage.
Against 3 HP is a kill, leaving us with a bleeding Elijah, half dead. Last couple of dwarves are lying around. This guy rolls a natural 20 against Zephyr. Even with a 19, it's still a hit, and 20s are always hits no matter what. Zephyr, you will take 3 points of damage. Our dwarven friend will try to wrestle this person away, but cannot get a grip. Cedric.
I see this is handled now. There's enough people in combat that I'm going to come over here.
Provoking attack
So
of
I'm going to
opportunity.
take 2 attacks of opportunities.
Excellent. Are you still continuing your chant?
Big time.
Okay. The first is a 3. The second is an 18 after penalty, which will hit
It hits.
you. The peasant is doing work. 3 points. Which
Okay, so I'm down to 6.
Reduced by 2, right?
Yeah. I am going to Cure Light Wounds on Elijah. We'll take a whole round.
excellent. You begin to heal Elijah. At the start of your next round, we will deal with the consequences. Zephyr. There's only 3 left.
Swing and a miss, I assume. Hiya!
Hits.
14. 3 damage. He's still alive.
No, he's not. Oh, well, you did the top person. Yeah. I was rolling
Yeah.
fresh HP. That person lives. They'll return with their pitchfork of doom. It's a 16 down to a 15 as a miss. And the last one of the 2 last remaining dwarves will turn to face Riven rolling a 10, which becomes a 9 and misses. And Riven's turn.
Nice.
That aura
I'll
does
yell
work.
out, capture one of
17.
these.
6 damage.
Ooh, baby. 2 HP dwarf vanishes. Whoosh. Elijah takes...
Capture one.
Well, he's being healed now, so his bleeding is going to be stopping. I'm 90% certain.
What HP do I get healed to?
D4.
24.
Well, you want me to roll?
You can roll it.
Okay.
I think you'll get to 3 HP on my turn.
It'll still take 1 HP per round to deliver, but he'll go on your turn. He'll go to -4, and eventually he'll hit that. But his bleeding is stopping. Last dwarf remaining.
You should have done this immediately. I would have been able to fight again at some point, right?
Yeah.
Well, you can't really do it immediately if people are coming and smacking you from behind.
Yes, yeah.
If he had made it to you before your second round had come along, it would have worked. Right. Well, last guy here, 8 against Zephyr. Allied dwarf friend 5. Cedric is healing Elijah. You're now at -4.
Yeah, I'm gonna call out. Capture one of them.
Zephyr. There's only 2 left.
I swing again at the one to my north because I figure that one's already hurt.
Oh, badly hurt.
Pay off 16.
Now they're dead. Poof, puff of
Boom,
smoke
5
and they're
damage.
gone. Only 1 remaining. And Riven, it's your turn.
Okay, I will try and, listening to Cedric, then I'm going to try and, like, tackle this guy to the ground.
Yeah. Wrap your arms around
What do
them.
you want? Back attack?
Yep.
18?
Your hands wrap around
17
their
with the
body.
aura. Alright, yeah, I try and...
Opposed strength check.
Yeah.
It's just going to be
17.
1d... Oh, that's a fail. Doesn't matter. You get a hold of them. Your arms are wrapped around them, but you cannot throw them to the ground. They have... Wow, they've got 14 strength.
Dwarf.
This could be good. This could be good.
Okay, Elijah's still chilling. Last dwarf with hammer in hand tries to hit Zephyr. It's a wild miss. You're friendly dwarf. You got your arms wrapped around this person with the hammer who's still trying to get Zephyr, and you're desperately trying to hold on to them. And your allied dwarf rolls another 9, natural 9. Still misses. Cedric continues to improve Elijah's HP. Zephyr, you've got him in a triangle.
How do I assist with this capture? I want to help capture him.
You tell me how.
Non-lethal damage, maybe?
I attempt to disarm him.
Ooh, that's a fancy maneuver. You can absolutely do it. It's usually reserved for for moves of desperation when you're a high-level character against someone much lower level, or a situation like this where you're not in too much danger and you can afford to take a risky maneuver here. Now, a disarm attack.
It's like an opposed attack, right?
Yeah. You must hit AC 20 with your attack roll to symbolize like you trying to hit their weapon in a way that's effective. And then they make an attack against AC 16 and you have to just do better than them. So.
All right, here you go. Here comes your 19. Oh, a 10.
Nope. So you try to disarm them. You get the hammer and kind of pull it with the blade, but the dwarf holds on and it doesn't go anywhere. Riven.
It's me again?
Yes.
Yep.
I shall... I'm really not well equipped for grappling.
Wrestling.
I think Elijah will be up next turn and I'll come handle that.
I'll try again. Did I still have
You're
a grip
already
of them?
gripped on them. Yeah, you just need the opposed strength check.
Okay, so it's just a strength check. Can I take the 13?
No. We gotta roll it again. So sorry.
Okay. I'm sorry, because I'm going to roll better.
You both roll natural ones. I believe if you both roll natural ones,
we fall
you
over.
both fall to the ground. You lose your grip of them, though, as the whole thing just comes tumbling to the ground. The dwarf will, on their turn, which is next, unfortunately, gets back to their feet. turns to face the ribbon on the ground, exposing themselves to Zephyr's attack.
Hang on. Does it, when they fall over though, does it not give an attack of opportunity to Zephyr?
Forced movement usually doesn't, but when they stand up and turn their back to Zephyr, it definitely does.
Yeah, I'm gonna
attack me.
attempt.
Well, literally, what hope is he
Can I
got to
do?
hurt me?
You could do like non-lethal intent attacks,
Absolutely, you have a -4 to hit, and then it's half damage, and half of that is real, and half of that is temporary.
right? Okay, I drop my sword and try to thump him on the back of the head. To, I don't know, like, yeah, like knock him out.
Absolutely. Bam!
Oh.
You crack them in the back of the head, and considering they had so little HP, you do absolutely KO them. You roll a 4 divided by 2, so 1 is real and 1
Oh wait,
is temporary.
I clicked Word Blade for damage out of habit, but that was not.
You'd be like a D2
Whatever
for
fifth
damage,
damage
right?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a crit though, no?
So 2D2?
2d2.
It's 2d2, yeah.
Not +1 though.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
Nice.
it does 1 damage, half of which is real and half of which is temporary, which is literally the only roll that you could have made that would knock them out and not kill them because they have 1 HP. Half a point of damage, miraculously, KOs them but leaves them present.
Okay.
Oh.
Very surprised.
Very
He bites my feet.
unlikely to happen, but wild success. Elijah, you will be back in just a few moments, so you can go ahead and return to 1 HP as Cedric heals, or to 3, was it?
3 HP?
What the hell was that? I shout.
I get the rope out
What
and I
the
tie
fuck
this fucking
happened?
guy up.
I
no
raise
idea.
my fist to the sky and I yell, Krallis! Fucking.
What just happened? What the fuck?
Do we know this guy?
Which guy? This one?
The tied up guy.
Everyone make me charisma checks.
The guy I just tied up.
Anyone recognize him?
Boom.
30.
30?
Ooh, Elijah, give me a charisma check.
Yeah, hold on. I lost my character sheet somehow.
That's
One
okay.
second.
No one recognizes him. He's not.
Okay. That's good.
No one.
Yeah.
I think.
Bye.
I think.
Go ahead, sorry.
What is that? Was there blood on? Is there blood on the floor where the people died?
Yes.
I can pick some of it up in my hand.
Yeah, it's like soaked into the earth, and so you pick up this clawed
Yeah.
like cat litter.
I turn to the dwarf and say, have you seen these before? What is happening? Beasts of the shadow?
Real people.
No, they
so.
disappeared.
Well, what if they were summoned, like the owlbear and the goblins?
You can't summon real people. Can you?
Sensacrellis maybe could. What if that was really Cassia?
No, it wouldn't and it can't be.
Oh no, I hope not.
She was right there, right?
I'm
She was
gonna
right there. I killed her.
tie this guy with a rope,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to Cure Light Wounds them.
Their eyes roll open wide, pupils dilated. They strain against their bonds. And then when the straining becomes clear that it's useless, they relax.
What's your name?
They do not answer. They move their eyes from person to person.
I'm gonna touch them. What do they feel like a person?
They feel like a person, and when you go out to touch them, they try and turn towards wherever you are and bite at your hand. But
Can I do a
well,
disbelieve?
Absolutely. Yeah.
What do you want me to roll?
I will roll it in
saving
secret
throw
because you
versus-
should never know. If you succeed, you should never really know about the dice rolls here. You attempt to disbelieve these person, and yet they remain before you. You're certain they're
I'm gonna
real.
cast Detect Magic.
Ah. Yes, grows in strength as they do. At first level, you can only detect the most overwhelming of magics at the shortest of range. There are 5 levels. You are now a 3rd level character, so you can detect magic up to the 3rd level. And at short range, right? Oh no, hold on. There's a little table here, so you can detect dim light, dim to overwhelming. Right. Yes, there is magic. There is strong magic coming off of this person. Absolutely.
Well, do you have any ideas, Zephyr?
I shake my head and I say, it's a summon by... It must be Krellis. He must know about us and is trying to stop us. That's the only thing we know that can summon creatures. Unless the island itself works against us?
Krogard, do you recognize any of these people?
He's going to make himself a charisma check.
I mean, he lives there, so surely.
Oh.
It was like 10 of them, right? So technically, she gets to roll 10 times.
Well, they're all gone.
That's true. You might have had a good look at all of them over the course of the time, though. Let me just do some...
Is that green circle your aura, Zephyr? That's so cool. It's huge.
Why, yes. You find yourself within the aura of my brilliance.
Yeah. I'm in awe of your aura.
I chant the hymn of peace that makes everyone want to smoke and just watch Dave Chappelle movies. Wait, no.
I would drink it.
Cheech and Chong. Sorry.
Maybe Charm Person could overcome the summon spell.
I was thinking about putting you in sleeping touch.
Yeah, that's what I was
Your
thinking.
dwarven friend
Put me to sleep, Daddy.
nods his head. One of the folks that showed up. I swear to God, I know them. I've worked with them. Not in a long time, but they're from the place we're going.
Oh, I've got a really bad feeling what we're going to find when we get
From
there.
Kapan.
Let's set up camp and
What was that?
Casey be here.
We should rest for a bit.
Before they appeared, there was some sort of fog, right?
Mm-hmm. And a flash of smoke?
I don't know what that means, but I'm worried. It's one thing if they just summoned the people from nearby. It's another that they brought Casey. Surely that was an illusion.
I inhale like a big and spit on the ground and I say, it's Krellis. And I spit on the ground, a big hawked loogie.
Let's go set up
spitting
camp.
at the name of Krellis.
You think he's watching us?
Who knows what powers he holds? He sits atop the secrets of Ferris. Perhaps he can scry us, or maybe he can only try to interfere with us randomly, and these creatures formed from our memories.
That devil has taken too many loved ones from me over the years.
Fucking Krellis, and I spit at the ground again.
Is that really the only explanation we have?
Well, let's see what charm person yields us. And I'll pick up the guy and we'll go make camp.
Okay.
Okay, so what, you put me to sleep?
After we make an appropriate camp.
Yeah, it's the middle of the day here. That's fine. You can camp where you are. There's just open grasslands all the way around you. There's a nice water source right next to you. It's a well-traveled road. You saw people earlier today. You'll probably see people later. It's a great place to make camp. There's a little bit.
Can I perform an experiment?
Of course.
Does this creature have anything on them that I can take off of them? Like
absolutely
a shoe.
Well, they had that hammer, and now they've got clothes. I mean, the hammer's already dropped to the ground, and they've got clothes on and shoes and a ring around the finger.
Has the hammer disappeared?
No, it's just there on the ground.
I take off. Do their shoes have shoelaces? Or is it just like a slip-on type?
I
must have shoelaces.
How did
like I want to.
I don't know the answer to that question.
You could have like a strap.
Yes.
You could have like a strap.
A strap
like a clip.
with a buckle. Yeah.
Okay, I cut the strap off and take it.
Okay.
Does it still exist? I hold it in my hand.
Yes.
I place the strap on the ground, and I take out my dagger, and I drive my dagger through the strap.
It is stuck to the ground.
I twist, and I stab it over and over. Is it still real?
You rip many small holes into it. It moves the earth in a circle, kind of creating a little crater as you twist it in the ground. It's now intermixed.
I take off
with the
his
soil.
shoe.
Yeah.
I hold his foot, and I smell it. Does it smell like a dwarf's foot?
Yes. I will not go into detail.
I
like a psycho right now, Riven.
was like, I need to know if he's real.
He's fucking real.
Why is he
put him in
real?
sleep.
He can't be real.
I don't know. Let's see if we can get a word out of him soon. Yeah, 2 hours, I think, of sleep is all you need.
Yep. I go to sleep for 2 hours.
You sleep for 2 hours.
I come back. Fully magic powered back.
I guess
Did
I'll
he have any
also
money
sleep
on
for
him?
2
Can
hours.
I take his phantom coins?
How much HP am
Can
I
you
at?
also
Like
sleep for
3?
2 hours?
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
Can I cast it again?
What?
Read. Target of the blessing needs to be in contact with the cleric for the duration of the casting time. So yeah, I could put you to sleep too if you wanted.
You could put him to sleep and he could regain MP that way. Absolutely.
Yeah, do you want to go to sleep?
You only need 1 hour, don't you?
Yeah, I do only need 1 hour.
Yeah.
I think I
I'll
just
throw you to
sleep
sleep
There's
right
no
now.
like little MP meter though, so you're all just falling asleep and then people are waking you up later in the day sort of randomly.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's true.
There was a question about coinage. Yes, you can find 3 silver and 9 copper coins in this dwarf's pocket.
I take one of his copper coins.
Yeah.
And I try to I scrape an X across it. And then I put it back in his pocket.
Your war blade is an excellent tool for scraping X's into copper, a softer metal.
'Cause if we ever run into this guy again and he has a coin with an X scraped into it, maybe this is a real guy.
Okay. I walk up to him and cast not comprehend languages, charm person. Do I sort of cast the spell and then watch his face and wait for it to soften? I sort of like position myself in his field of view, like directly in front of him.
I love the magical exploration. I just need to make sure all of these magical things are returning accurate results. Forgive me if I need a moment to read the truth, the true.
He gets a saving throw with wisdom adjustments, and as a dwarf, I think that would give him some additional constitution-based saving throw bonuses, I think.
There seems to be no affect change on the dwarf's face. Doesn't soften. They don't gaze at you in any enjoyable way.
I read something in the Discord, and I don't know if this is legit because you've not mentioned it. Is there penalties for casting the same spell in a row?
You know, this is something that had come up much earlier, and I forgot to bring it up again. And this is a perfect opportunity. Thank you for doing this. Casting spells for sorcerers only. Spells have an MP cost that must be paid upon their casting. Each time a spell is cast, the specific channels within the sorcerer's body through which those magics run are activated and fatigued. To cast the same spell again requires twice the MP unless 1 hour per spell level has passed in rest.
You've got a magic refractory period.
Thus, a sorcerer could cast a first level and a third level spell, and after 1 hour rest, they could cast the first level again at its own price, but the third level spell would still cost twice as much as its base for another 2 hours. And this will compound. So if you cast it once, it doubles, and if you cast it a second time, it doubles from the double, so forth and so on.
Wow, that makes a big difference. That's quite It's less important for me, but I said it's quite a big...
Could you have even casted Melf's Acid Arrow twice then?
I forgot about that. That's on me. Correct.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can break the rules of the universe as long as the gods aren't paying attention.
I tried casting it again. It cost me 8 magic power.
Yes. Do you have that much?
Yeah, I got 12. It cost 4 the first time, 8 the second time.
Easy peasy. Okay.
Nice.
Still, no change.
Can you give me... Is it like it's not affecting him, or it's like he's passing his save, or like is there a moment of like uncertainty and then his vision, his gaze hardens again, or does it just seem like it's just going over his head?
You've cast Charm Person on one person before, and when you hit them with it, it did soften them, right? They looked at you not as you would a stranger, but as you would with a friend. The eyes are a little more open, the muscles are a little more relaxed. This person, there's no change. And they also don't look like they are more irritated. It doesn't look like they feel like they've been attacked or that they feel like they've been charmed in a failed way. They're, maybe this is passing the save because you've never seen what it looks like when they pass.
Yeah.
Or maybe this is something else that's preventing it from happening. Or maybe
I shrug and say, whatever magic is making them act like this, I think is too powerful for my spells to interfere with. I'm not sure what we do with him now.
I suppose we could wait until he disappears.
I think we wait the night and see how long he lasts here, or we could bring him with us. I mean, apparently the other one was from this town up here. Maybe this guy's from there too. We can't.
It's not a bad idea. We should bring him with us.
I wouldn't kill him.
But I agree. Let's not kill him. But if nothing changes, he'll be in this angry state for the rest of his life. He'll need to be imprisoned.
Well, we don't know how the magic works.
I agree. Okay, let's make camp then.
you make camp. People will pass
we
by.
also need to.
Go ahead.
We also need to figure out how we're going to explain this to the authorities. Because dragging a trussed-up dwarf that people might know.
Well, there's going to be, if I'm right, there's going to be dead bodies. There's going to be people that have disappeared and then reappeared dead from combat wounds in that city. Multiple people. So they're going to know some shit's gone down, and we're going to have to explain what's happened. And we're going to reckon with the fact that the Armator is probably dead and I killed her.
I'm going to be honest. We might want to take this guy home.
And do what with him?
Rug. I don't know if it's wise to go into the city for people we killed. Intentionally or not.
Well,
would you believe someone, you know?
I think...
Well,
I don't think we should go back to the city,
right? I think we should. I think we should go. That's
I think
my
we
take
should carry on.
I think that people there are going to know something's afoot.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, maybe they saw him vanish and then reappear.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, we can tell them what happened. And
Give
this
us the
guy's
night.
proof.
See if this guy comes too.
Yeah. He's either going to come to, he's going to disappear, or he's going to be the same in the morning. Okay. Make camp. Can we get healing spells, Moot?
Yeah.
I think I'm on the 2d8 track currently.
Juice me up.
All right. Peach Ale can't get one. This is for Nick.
Yep.
Thank you.
This is for me. Yeah, because I haven't done myself. Nice. And then roll
I'm
1d8
above
for potato.
75. I'm fully healed anyway, so.
You good?
Nice.
I'm good.
All right. I'm up to 12. What about our dwarf friend? Hey, you want some healing, bud?
Please. I've been listening to what you've been saying. He heals to full. And I'm amazed. Who are you people? I know you're not
We're just
normal. You've got the fertility totems, and you have this armor, and you speak like you know what is happening.
Forward.
Oh, we're just clerics.
I look at Zephyr and I sort of exaggerated sigh, and then I turn back to the dwarf and I say, well, this is Overseer Zephyr Shepherd of Aknara. My name is Riven, the Senior Warden of Aknara. This is Cedric, Cleric of Martha, and Hammer of the Overseer. And this here is Elijah, Sorcerer, and...
Hand of the Overseer.
Hand of the Overseer, yeah. And together we are... Sorry, I don't have a name yet.
The Wardens.
Yeah, we haven't... The Wardens, yeah.
The Wardens.
You called yourselves the Seekers earlier.
Oh,
the Seekers.
Right.
The Seekers.
I
Cedric
don't know
Seekers.
I don't know if we actually did the committees required to actually
True.
okay that name.
Okay.
I think we need to do the...
Someone needs to file a form with compliance.
we need to circle back with management and actually see if that form has
Yeah.
been fulfilled correctly, because I don't know if we actually
We
have
also
plans for
gotta get people to, you know, come in and listen to it, like workshops, you know.
Yeah, we have to do like a market
Proof
testing.
testing
on
once
the
a
names
year.
and stuff.
Market testing.
I've had this show all day. I would like to go to bed, so shall we wrap this up for the night?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, the dwarf with you takes a knee and thanks you profusely for saving him. I don't know
Good.
what you're all doing, but I saw the way you removed those monsters. Lesser people would have fled. I'm color me impressed. If you can help my granddaughter and you can do things like this, I am at your service.
Well, Krogar, I've been in many battles with civilians, and let me say that not all show the valor and mettle of yourself. I'm impressed by you also.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just stand
You have
by
a heart.
and let bad things happen.
Could be the
important
first
for a
time we
Montana
ever have a
code.
dwarf as a warden.
Okay. People will pass your little spot by the creek on the road, but you go over towards the creek to rest. You can ignore them. There's not that much sign of the battle, so no one will stop and say hello unless you really want someone to stop.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Then we'll end here for the day, and when we come back next time, we will figure out what is going on in Aknara.
Holy shit.
Okie dokie.
What a
Do we want to do XP so we don't forget? Or do we want to do that next
Yes,
time?
I've been taking copious XP notes.
Oh, copious.
Yes, divided by 4. So for combat, it's bunch of XP. For coming to, I did this wrong. Okay, combat XP plus visiting a new town XP is worth something. Getting a little bit of lore out of the Armator is worth a little something. And that is the group
killing the
XP
Armator.
divided by 4. Everyone take home for your group XP 338. Additionally, I would like to grant MrMouton, who actually already counted that over here. Counted for that over there. Perfect. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. The communications with Summit, Jamie, that you set up, where they're gonna come and check in every fortnight and blah 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 blah. That is worth 100 XP because that's a useful thing to have going on. That's a clever idea. Greenzer,
Perfect.
Nick, Riven,
Yes.
getting the Horticultural Society to investigate the ley lines is a clever idea. Take 100.
Thank you.
Peachal, you had some interesting ideas for how you could tandem your spells with Rivens. That is a lovely, clever idea that I'm going to give you 100 for. Also, Peachal, for your description of someone was coming up with is this tax deductible? And you had a perfect well, if an orc showed up, do you think you could reasonably explain it? That was the most adorable thing I've ever heard in my life. But it's not really story related. It's just really good role playing. So I'm still going to reward you for it anyway. That's another 75. Lucas, the fertility totem. You had a lot to do with it. There's actually 2 parts. There's the actual getting the person the fertility totem, and then there's the fertility totem scheme that you worked with Nick in order to make happen. So for the fertility totem, you are starting to dip into what it is to be a cleric. Like, you are feeling out the oats of your class and taking on like a judgmental role as a cleric. So I'm gonna give you I'm gonna call that spells cast to further your ethos, which is 200 XP. And then for a fertility totem scheme to get information, I don't know if that saves the party, but it definitely is pretty good. So I'm going to split 150 between the two of you. That's 75 for Nick, 75 for Lucas. And then who said someone in it was Zephyr, who in the middle of combat was like, save Elijah. Good job, 50 XP for really role playing that character well and trying to save Elijah. And also similarly, Lucas, you are using healing spells in combat, which is not optimal technically speaking, but is like excellent role play. So take 50 for that. And
had to save his ass. Yeah,
You did.
the Riven, you had some interesting charm person things going on here. Clever ideas of maybe how can we get through this. So 50 for you, and we're gonna call it That's it for everyone. That's our XP for the day.
Very good.
Good stuff.
All right, that's it.
I think I'm getting near 6.
How do we know when we level?
10,000 for us.
10,000. All right.
What's it for cleric? Oh yeah,
Way to go.
I'm close.
Are you really close to level 4?
Coming on up. Yeah.
How the fuck are you
I'm
close
like
to level
400 XP from it.
How are you? I guess clerics do level
Clerics
fast.
only need. Yeah, they level quick.
They also leveled to 3 before us, remember?
That's
How
true,
much experience are you, Mr. Mitten?
5,679.
Okay, you're only slightly ahead of me. I'm 5,554.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. Not that much. Not very
I
far.
thought you were at like 10,000. I was like, wait a minute.
No, we level at 6,000, so yeah, we're close.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit. We're really close.
Levels-
We're like an episode or two away.
Yeah. Okay.
6,000 or 7,000?
6.
Damn, I'm already at
does level 4 get us
7,300.
7,000 XP, yeah.
Yeah.
Does level 4 get us new spells?
No.
I wonder how you guys are so far ahead.
It will. Yes, every level will get you new spells, but it won't be a new spell level.
Right.
Okay.
And I think next level we'll get a weapon proficiency.
Yes.
Yeah, man, maybe a plus to hit, I think.
Ooh.
Yes.